Now, my only question is, I don't know. Okay, now we're live.
Hey guys, I'm Hunter Dino. I'm your pink Dino Fury Power Ranger and your red Cosmic Fury Power Ranger, and you're listening to Toku Secrets podcast.
Welcome to Toku Secrets. Join us as we journey into the marvelous world of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Power Rangers, and many other tokusatsu. Get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. It's Morphin time! Link to the Morphers. I'm Nathan Desai, the dazzling adventurer, Spoken Silver.
I'm Patrick Allen, I'm Shinken Red.
And I'm Rizwan Merchant, Gokai Red.
And I'm Anthony Davis, also known as Curie Green. And we're Toku Secrets.
Oh no, we're live.
What is going on, everyone? As we have announced, for the first time, the Toku Secrets podcast is doing a live stream. We have most of the crew on. Anthony will be joining us a little bit later. This is pretty much a live stream both where we are going to be doing a tier ranking of every Power Ranger season from Mighty Morphin all the way to Dino/Cosmic Fury. And not only that, but people who are tuning in will have a chance to win a free ticket to Rangerstop and Pop, which is going to be taking place next week in Georgia. I did a promotional video on my blog, and one was posted on the Anime Secrets channel. So and you guys can enter. Just make sure that you guys can actually make it and be able to come to the con, and we'll figure out how to get you that ticket. Either you can come in and just contact us and I can give it to you, or I can mail it to you. But I do have the tickets available. We have 2 free tickets up for grabs. So this is your chance to not only go to Rangerstop and Pop, but you can meet me and Riz because we're going to be there. Yeah. And meet a lot of your favorite Power Ranger actors because there's a really sweet lineup in this upcoming convention.
And Rangerstop and Pop, it's going to be a great time. I went for my first time last year, and me and Nathan still talk about how awesome that experience was a year later. Like, I'm flying back to Atlanta again for this. This is not something trivial to me. It was a lot of fun last year, and I recommend if you're in the Atlanta, Georgia area in 2 weeks, definitely come out and join us because it'll be a great time.
So with that being said, to kind of jump into the main course of this whole live stream, Riz, do you want to bring it, or are you going to show it to us on screen?
Yeah, I'm about to pull it back up. We are going to be doing a tier listing of the Power Ranger seasons tonight.
Yep, and just to kind of set something real quick here. Obviously, this is all going to turn into some like little mini review of each Power Ranger season. We don't really want to mention the Super Sentai seasons a little too much. I mean, especially when we get to Jungle Fury, I know that there's going to be a certain Sentai that this is not going to want to talk about. So, and I mean, even when we do Mighty Morphin, I mean, do we really want Patrick to, talk about those 2 of those Sentais?
No, I have the self-control tonight. I have the self-control tonight. Don't worry.
Yeah. I mean, I have the self-control to not mention the unmentionable season in relation to one of the best seasons. So if I can do it, you can do it. I hope.
Riz, Nick Tillette was asking, how does he enter to win?
So we're going to do a little bit of trivia at the halfway mark. And if you can answer the trivia and you're in the Atlanta area next weekend, you can totally win. But you got to be in Atlanta. You can't just win it and then not be in Atlanta next week because that'll kind of defeat the purpose of a giveaway. Yeah. And Aka, Geki Ranger was that bad. I'm sorry. Here, we're going to bring that up real quick. Look, we're going to put his comment on screen.
Why'd you just have to single the man out like that?
Because he's in our Discord. And I know him like that. I can troll him a little bit. So Kamen Rider Blackman, we are actually going to lump together all 3 Mighty Morphin seasons into one entry, and we're going to consider Dino Fury to be the first 2 seasons of Dino Fury plus Cosmic Fury, because Cosmic Fury is a continuation of Dino Fury as a direct sequel, much like how season 3 of Mighty Morphin is a direct continuation of what happened in Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, just like Super Samurai, Super Megaforce, Dino Suit, they're all just
same thing for all the
season.
supers. I'm not doing Super Megaforce.
They're all just one show.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, before we start, I mean, just Aka mentioning the Geki Ranger thing, and not only that, but when we were talking about Die Ranger when we were off the recording thing, I find it kind of funny how there's 3 Sentais that are all based off of like martial arts and ki, and none of them are good. Like, I mean, Masked Man is okay, but Die Ranger is trash. It's overrated, and Geki Ranger is not good. So, and yet people love Die Ranger and Geki Ranger. So, it's just really, could we get a Sentai based on martial arts and ki that actually tries to give us better character drama and doesn't just rely on stunning visuals? Because that's one thing Riz has to give Geki Ranger, that, I mean, the mechs and the suits look cool.
Oh, the mechs are fantastic. I'm not going to ever dispute that. I just have a huge problem with the story and a certain Red Ranger.
Like, could we get a good story and characters and not rely on visuals and aesthetics? I mean, you could give us Teenager, which, the green screen effects weren't great, but the suits and mechs were awesome, and they gave us good story. So that's the best of both worlds. But
let's get started.
Okay.
To get started, I'm going to do a thing that will make everyone laugh. So get started. Go for it. It'll be okay.
So we got Mighty Morphin, which we're we're combining all 3 seasons. So we're not doing season 1 and season 2 and season 3 individually. Personally,
Hey Nate, I snuck in Rail Riders.
But
it's the Akiba Ranger Power Rangers. It's the unofficial season.
Look, we got to talk about Rail Riders here, because that stuff is amazing so far.
I'll let you 2 discuss that when we get to it.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the lowest I could put Mighty Morphin is a B, because like seasons 1 and 2 are, I mean, they're good. I mean, they haven't aged well, but they got some great moments. But like season 3 is where if I was doing season 3 by itself, I would consider giving season 3 an A, because that's when it really started to do a lot of like ongoing story arcs and not just stick to like the episodic format. Because there's like 50 episodes of Mighty Morphin season 3, and only like 12 of them are like standalone. So for me, I guess if I like have 2 C tier seasons, but then you put like an A tier in there, you could like average that up to a B for me.
Yeah. I would say Mighty Morphin is in the B tier, because season 1 admittedly is a bit of a chore to watch. But I will say that first Classic 5 team, to me, is still unbeatable in terms of like my nostalgia and my love for it.
Yeah. You want to add something, Patrick?
I'm a little bit more harsh on Mighty Morphin, because season 1 was a little bit blah, but personally, I thought season 2 was the worst part of Mighty Morphin pretty easily. I don't know, there was just something about its like pacing and stuff, especially like around the time where they tried to censor Lord Zed a little bit. It got really bad.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, just the entirety of Mighty Morphin I find, but I could say the same thing about the everything before in space. I just find it hard to go back and watch. I'm giving it a C at best. I I'm genuinely a lot more harsh on Mighty Morphin than a lot of other people tend to be.
Yeah, and one thing to kind of throw it out there, given we have some people listening to this live, if you guys want to give your own take on what you think, let us know what you guys are thinking for the rank, and I might actually influence our grade a little bit too. I want to use your feedback here. Come on.
Yeah.
So, I know we got Aka Eagle out there. I know we got Nathan. You're going to find this funny, actually. I think you might remember somebody we met at Rangerstop last year. He was wearing the West cosplay. He's from the audio drama.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He voiced Alex in the audio drama.
Yeah, I saw his. I saw on Discord. He's on here listening to us right now as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, I would like to hear from all of them. Especially people who are involved in works of fan production as well.
Patrick, you mentioned, okay, I get you having issues with season 2 because, season 2 didn't even really have an official finale. Like, it was a filler episode where they make a clone of Billy. But what did you think of season 3?
Season 3 is the best Mighty Morphin season, and I think a lot of people kind of agree with that sentiment because it was the first time they actually started treating the audience like they weren't stupid.
Yeah,
I'll give season 1 a pass because it was the first season and they were still trying to, I guess get a feel for how to approach a show like that. But season 2 was really, really rough. Like, I think once Tommy became the White Ranger, it fell off a cliff hard.
The thing I want to give season 3 credit for is that, and not that I'm comparing this to Kaku Ranger, but I like how they use different eras of Kaku Ranger out of order. Because, let's be honest, in season 2, the whole transition of trying to okay, I'm not saying that it didn't work entirely, but it just felt kind of silly how you're all of a sudden turning the Jew Ranger, Guardian Beast into the mythical Key Beasts from Die Ranger, which just seemed kind of silly. But in the case of and then they come up with an explanation that doesn't work entirely on why Tommy can't get a new Zord. Well, in the case of season 3, they said, okay, we'll adapt the last part of Kaku Ranger.
Yeah, introduce Yabasamaru immediately.
That'll be Tommy Zord, and then those 5, the Kakure, whatever made up that Kakure Dai Shogun thing, they become the Ninja Zords. Then we'll adapt the beginning of Kaku Ranger, where we'll come up with this explanation on we'll make the Muteki Shogun the Shogun Zords, and we'll have the Falcon Zord get captured to explain why it can't be around. And that, okay, admittedly, the whole explanation of them not being able to use the Ninja Zords because the Falcon Zord has been captured. Okay, that's kind of weird, but you can tell that they're trying. The writers are trying to get more creative with their writing. And there's Anthony.
He lives.
Yeah. He's alive. Alive, I say.
Anthony, you're able to jump in now because we're actually having a debate over where we want to put Mighty Morphin, and we're having all 3 of the seasons collective together, seasons 1, 2, and 3. So Riz and I and Patrick and CT are.
Okay, hold up, Miguel.
Anthony.
Miguel, I love you, but really?
Screw you in particular.
Okay, Miguel. We love you too, man.
Oh boy.
Let's see what else is going on in our chat room while we've been busy yakking away.
There's one guy, Techno Monk, who says
yes,
from his childhood.
Yeah, that's part of where I am. Techno Monk is B for childhood, but also I genuinely think season 3 of Mighty Morphin saved it from being a full C tier for me. Like, I understand Patrick's point for it just being a C tier, but I gotta be honest with y'all. I have some nostalgia glasses on for Mighty Morphin, and I'm sorry, you know. And then there's Edwin with the classic line to end the entire franchise, because apparently we're not getting any more Power Rangers going forward.
Yep.
Coolio.
Anthony, so what did you want to add? What do you want to add for Mighty Morphin now that you're here?
Also, are you able to talk, Anthony? Yeah, you're not talking.
He's muted. And see what we have to
You're
do.
muted somewhere. Welcome to Toku Secrets Behind the Scenes, where our mics don't work when we first join. So, Kamen Rider Blockman, contact me on my personal Instagram, RizLord7, or if you're in our Discord, feel free to DM me and we can talk about maybe doing a collab one day. I'd like to see your channel and maybe we can figure out an idea for a collab if you're interested down the line. And we still can't hear you, bro.
But we should probably try to like move this along with like
So where we end up on Mighty Morphin, B or C?
Well, it was 2 B's to 1 C, so
yeah.
Well, all Anthony, right. Type in the private chat where you would personally put it, just so we can even this out while you try to figure out your mic issues.
So we're even.
What did he say?
He said C tier.
Okay, so we're gonna use the YouTube channel to break our tie.
Well,
if you guys think Mighty Morphin's a B tier, type B in the chat. If you think it's a C tier, type a C in the chat. Whoever gets the most votes. Well, I want them to put it in again so we have the count.
And let's at least be happy that we're not one of those people who constantly treats Mighty Morphin like the joke season.
Yo, more phenomenal Expo's in the house.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I didn't see
and
that.
They gave it a C also. See, they backed me up.
Look, More Phenomenal Expo, I know we're here to promote Rangerstop and Pop, but I got to tell y'all, More Phenomenal Expo, they are some really awesome people. I love talking to them on our podcast. What was it, like a month ago, Nate?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I met one of the guys and his son in MomoCon a couple of weeks ago.
Dude, he told me that the other day. I was talking to him on the phone. He mentioned that he met you in MomoCon. Okay, so we have
3 B's and 2 C's.
And 3 B's. Okay. So the votes break it in the B tier. Break it to be in the B tier.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think we have to put it in S, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen all of these like ranking Power Ranger seasons with memes where Mighty Morphin, it always starts with the guy shouting, "That's what I'm talking about! That's why you get me paid! That's why you get Which, that's how I feel about another Power Ranger season, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
We'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah,
let's talk about the Alien Ranger miniseries. Now, I'm gonna start off by saying I purposely added Alien Ranger separate from Mighty Morphin, even though it is Mighty Morphin, simply because it does feature a new team of Rangers, and they do have their own mini series, But I was not a fan of the Alien Ranger miniseries, aside from the fact that it gave me, the next season of Power Rangers, which I don't look on as negatively as other people do. So I would say that Alien Rangers to me is a D tier.
Yeah, same here.
Mainly because to me, Alien Rangers is not very memorable. I mean, look, somebody in the chat just said, I don't remember much about Alien Rangers.
I mean, even the series, the franchise itself doesn't seem to remember it, because if you watch that Dino Thunder recap episode, and yes, I'm aware that they're in constraint with time, Tommy does not mention the Alien Rangers at all in his video diary. It jumps right from when Kimberly gives her powers to Kat right to the command center just blowing up.
But the legendary battle does have Alien Rangers in the background, given the Sentai footage. But they're not even mentioned like in the walk up. Like they don't even come up like on the mountain scene where they're saying, "Look, Mighty Morphin, real Rangers." And after I will never stop laughing at the scene where Overdrive and Mighty Morphin walk up. Overdrive walks out first, and they're like, "What is that?" And then Mighty Morphin walks in, and Noah's like, "Look, real legendary Rangers." And I'm like, "Ha ha, that's great."
Aka says Kaku Ranger was much better. We'll review Kaku Ranger at some point.
At some point. I do want to watch Kaku Ranger. I've been hearing too much good about it.
It's the only good Mighty Morphin Sentai.
Out of Zoo Ranger, Die Ranger, Kaku Ranger is the best one by a landslide.
So this is a D tier. I mean, the only Alien Rangers that have any personality are Delphine, which I don't want to bad mouth her because Raja is an absolute sweetheart, and then Sestro. But I mean, Orico, Titus, and Porcus, very boring characters.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The only thing I will say is, for very personal and selfish reasons, I love Delphine's actress. Wow, we have Legacy of Nerd on here. Okay.
Yeah, I will agree with you, Aka. Ninja Yellow and Ninja Blue and Kaku Ranger weren't that great of characters either, but Sasuke, Jiraiya, and Tsuruhime more than made up for it.
I mean, Saizo could be funny every once in a while.
Yeah, he has his moments, but he's not on Sasuke, Jiraiya, or Tsuruhime's level.
Yeah. I don't know anything about that Sentai.
What's on Zeo?
Zeo.
So I'm going to be honest, when I did my own personal tier list before as like a prep for this, I have 4 seasons in the bottom tier, and Zeo is one of those seasons. I hate this season so much.
Okay, how do I sound now?
Hey, he's back, and he's
a little bit loud. A little bit loud, but we can hear you.
You're
my
loud,
bad.
but you're definitely there.
Is there a way to adjust my audio settings?
Let me see if I can do it. Hang on. Talk now.
How do I sound now?
Crap.
My ears. Ow, my ears.
Fun fact.
I can do it myself. Hold on.
Okay, do it.
Yeah, that's right. Kamen Rider Black Man saying Delphine's actress was a voice actor on Big Bad Beetleborgs. Yeah, she was. She voiced that female.
All right, how do I sound now?
You're not hurting my ears anymore.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, real quick, Anthony, you said C tier for Mighty Morphin. We got a fan vote from the community that brought up a B tier.
No, that's good at least.
What are your thoughts on the Alien Rangers? Because we put it in D tier.
Yep.
Are you cool with that?
D tier. Yeah.
Do you want to add anything before we go on to Zeo?
It was honestly, it was a waste of time. Honestly, like, and I have nothing against the actors who played as the Alien Rangers. It's just it just felt out of place. It was just like what's even going on here? Like the Ranger suits look amazing because obviously it's from Kaku Ranger. So
yeah. No, the suits are pretty slick. I like them, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But there was what the Kamen Rider Black Man said about Delphine's actress being a voice actor on Big Bad Beetleborgs. She voiced that female villain of those 3 like dimwit villains in the first season.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait.
She also used the exact same voice for Hexuba, who was Ilias's counterpart in Lost Galaxy. For like 2 episodes, though.
Okay, that was going to remember anything about Lost Galaxy.
I need to rewatch Beetleborgs. Then I really need to give it another shot.
Okay,
it's been a while.
At some point, we're going to deviate from our Sentai Power Ranger adaptation thing again, and I'm going to drag you guys through watching Beetleborgs and Mystic Knights Eternal Node because that season gets no love whatsoever.
The Saban original.
Fighters, though?
Honestly, I heard that people love Beetleborgs. Like that thing was popular. Like even popular the Power Rangers.
It's hammy. It's a lot more hammy than Mighty Morphin in a lot of ways, but it has a lot more personality than Mighty Morphin. I'll say that.
Yeah, from what I heard. I watched it too, but I barely remember anything. I rewatch it now as an adult. So,
hey, Riz, you mentioned something about like Raja voicing that character in Lost Galaxy. What did you say about Lost Galaxy?
Oh, I said I don't remember anything about Lost Galaxy, which is why I need 2 weeks to go re-binge Lost Galaxy for our podcast.
Yeah.
And why I'm secretly thanking us for having so much content that we're actually done with Ginga Man right now. And we still have like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks left of content before we have to get Lost Galaxy out for the people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty hyped that we have the time for me to go back and binge it because I remember nothing.
But but yeah, we should totally do Big Bad Beetleborgs and then probably review the Japanese counterpart, Juko B Fighters too.
We gotta find that first.
We have to find it because it's not like
I haven't seen
any available subs.
anywhere. Yeah.
I have heard from some people's word of mouth that B Fighter is good. B Fighter Kabuto isn't. But
Interesting.
But anyway, let's get
on to Zeo because Patrick is in the middle of ripping it to shreds. I want to hear it.
Yeah,
I
think Zeo is the worst. Is basically like someone in the comments here. Who was it that said it was basically MMPR season 4? Yeah, it was RRRLL up there.
Yeah, I see it.
I kind of agree with that sentiment where it's just the worst aspects of Mighty Morphin. And I don't like the O-Ranger costumes at all.
So this is where you and I differ on the suits. I actually didn't mind the suits at all. I thought they were pretty slick.
Yeah.
I will say, I think so for me, Zeo was not a terrible season per se, but like the comments are saying in here, it's definitely not too packed with story or anything meaningful. I mean, the Gold Ranger stuff is pretty cool, but other than that, I think it's mainly Monster to Week tech stuff. It's been a while since I've watched Zeo.
It also
ended super anticlimatically.
Yeah, I was about to say it just kind of stopped, and then the Turbo movie was like, they're not strong cars.
I was about to say that because I remember before I met you guys, I thought Zeo was kind of like I didn't hate it, but then I remember constantly when we were in like our Skype chats back in the day that Patrick would constantly talk about how much he dislikes Zeo. And one day I messaged Patrick on Facebook, and what he said kind of completely changed my perspective. When you think about it, what part of the story does Zeo actually play in the grand scheme of things to the story of the Zordon era? Like Mighty Morphin introduces them, and then Mighty Morphin ends with the command center getting blown up, and that transitions to Zeo. And in the case of Turbo, like we get these new teens, like it sees, the old teens transferring their powers to new teens, and then those teens lose their powers, and the power chamber blows up, and then that leads into Power Rangers in Space, which continues the story. Zeo just ends.
It didn't have a solid ending, and that's why I don't understand Zeo. Like, it could have been so great, in my opinion. Like, they had some cool stuff going on. Like, for example, the Messine Empire versus the Moon Crew. That could have been really fun, but it kind of degraded the Moon Crew a lot more than they were already degraded by season 3. Because in season 3, the Moon Crew, to me, was on that downward spiral of being too campy and too humor-based because the soccer moms of the 90s didn't like Lord Zed being all menacing and evil, so they had to nerf his evilness to make him a little bit more funny. because oh no, soccer moms and satanic panic, as Nathan Marchand would say.
Like literally, the only impact that you could technically say that Zeo has is that we get the Gold Ranger, who then appears during like the big final battle against the forces of evil and Countdown to Destruction. But is that really something that is really worth mentioning? Like,
not really.
No.
And again,
but I don't even hate Zeo. I just think it's like it just for me, it's like a disappointment. Really, I'm not really like, oh my god, this is the worst season ever. It's more like it should have given us more than what it was.
Yeah,
and I don't think the series even handles stuff that it tries to do that should be big. Like honestly, the Cat Tommy romance story, I want to like it because I do genuinely think that Cat and Tommy are a decent couple. Like I'm not one of those people where I was like, oh my god, Tommy and Kim need to be together. Screw Cat, she shouldn't be with Tommy. Like I'm not like one of those types of people, but I just wish that the story was, handled a bit better, especially since in the Turbo movie, like they don't follow it up with that romance story. I mean, the comics.
She's there. Kim's there.
Yeah, I know.
I think one of the things in hindsight that I wish Zeo kept from O-Ranger was keeping Sprocket and Gasket the same character and making him the endgame boss. They're insistent on bringing back, what was his name, King Mondo? I almost called him
King
Bacchus
Mondo.
Wrath. Yeah, because Bacchus Wrath was his name in O-Ranger. The fact that they were so insistent on bringing back King Mondo kind of took away a lot of the intensity. And in O-Ranger, as much crap as I give O-Ranger, I thought the what was his name in a O-Ranger, Sprocket and Gasket? Bloom. Kaiser Boltnut. That was genuinely a really good villain arc that he went through, and it did made O-Rangers kind of endgame. It did kind of salvage the season a tiny little bit, but Zeo just didn't have that like catch with the villains because they were just like, no, guess what, Mondo's still alive for some reason.
I think the reason why the only reason I can think of why they would bring Mondo back is because they went on to adapt, like when they did the episode where Billy has to go to Aquatar and they did the crossover with the Alien Rangers, they took the footage of the O-Ranger versus Kaku Ranger movie.
Oh, yeah.
And that movie is not canon because Bacchus Wrath is alive in that movie, even though the O-Rangers have O-Blocker or whatever the Super Zeo Megazord was called.
The O-Blocker.
And he got killed by O-Blocker. So that's one of those crossover movies that's not canon. But at the same time, why don't you just take all the action footage from that movie and just not use the footage of Bacchus Wrath? Problem solved.
So to avoid going on this long Zeo review we're doing right now, what do we want to give Zeo?
I say D. I put it ahead of Alien Rangers, though.
To me, out of the 4 seasons, I put an F tier. It's the highest rated one.
Okay.
But
Anthony?
I want to give it a D as well. Not the worst, but not the best either.
See, that's interesting because when I walked into this live stream, I had in my mind, okay, Zeo will probably be a C tier, but talking to you guys and remembering stuff, I have to agree with the D tier.
The only reason I'm even giving it in a D tier is the King for a Day 2-parter. If that 2-parter never existed, I probably would give it an F2. Just saying.
Yeah.
And the Zeo Ranger Gold Rangers debut.
Yeah.
There we go. Zeo is now on the board. I think after we do Lost Galaxy, we're going to do one giveaway for one of our 2 Rangerstop passes. So in the comments, if you guys are listening and interested in one of those tickets, let us know so we know we have interest for the Rangerstop and Pop tickets before we waste time doing our trivia round.
Yep.
Yeah. So, with that said, Turbo, what do we think?
I think Turbo is way too overhated. Here's the thing. Okay, is it bad? Yeah, it's bad, but there's some likable elements to it. Like to me, the second half makes it a season that I can kind of enjoy, because even in some of those really bad episodes, this new team, TJ's team, Kim, Carlos, Cassie, and Ashley, I like those characters, and I like Turbo, and to the point where even in some bad episodes, and there are some bad episodes like that Robot Rangers episode, tolerate it because these are genuinely likable characters.
Oh, you mean the robot episode where everybody's being all creepy, looking like this? Hi, Justin, how you doing? Hey, hi,
Somebody told the director
also,
was the director of that episode under the impression that he was directing a horror movie? Because I swear to God, that's how that scene was.
It felt like one.
Yeah, Techno Monk. I do want to call out the pizza episode because that's, I think, one of the biggest casualties of Turbo was the fact that it was genuinely trying to tell a serious story. And when they went for original footage episodes, like the ending, like the final arc of Turbo, which is one of the best finales in Power Rangers. But the problem is that it was adapting Car Ranger. And
which is one of the goofiest Sentai.
Everybody who's seen Car Rangers knows that there was not a single serious moment in that entire season. And that hurt Turbo so much. But it was something they couldn't really avoid.
Did they use the footage the Car Ranger footage in that episode where everyone does the roll call, where like the Car Rangers are like, I'll do this and this and this, and then Single Man is all like, oh, I have to do it? Okay. Like,
yes, and it's hilarious because Blue Centurion says fiddlesticks during that sequence in Turbo, and it's hilariously stupid. But yeah, in Car Ranger, that pizza episode is hilarious. It's one of the funnier episodes too. But it was just a detriment to Turbo. But I do agree with you guys that when they changed hands and TJ and company became the team, it genuinely got significantly better. And the ending, like I said before, is one of the best finales in Power Rangers. So I think as I've gotten older, I think I've loosened up on Turbo a little bit. The first half of the season is still like more Zeo nonsense, but with a more infuriating villain, because I don't like Diva Tox.
No one likes Diva Tox.
But like,
she only has one thing going on for her. Oh my bad. I'm sorry, I interrupt you. My bad.
How dare you?
But like, General Havoc is a good villain for the little bit he's around and stuff. So like, it's definitely better than Zeo. I think comfortably.
Yeah. See, here's my thing about Turbo. First, I wanted to comment that I was trying to make earlier that I couldn't get in about the Robot Turbo Rangers. If we didn't have that episode, even though it was as bad as it was, we wouldn't have a way to justify Turbo being on the mountain scene in the legendary battle.
Yeah,
because
that is true.
You can't have all the teams there because what are you going to do? Zeo needs to be there, and Space has to be there. So how do you have Turbo? So they said, hey, the Robot Rangers are what the Turbo Rangers are. And that makes,
see that one-off episode that was creepy as all hell is the reason why we got full Ranger teams for that season.
No, it's the reason why we can rationalize the crap that Saban tried to throw.
Yeah,
it really is though.
But thinking about my ranking of Turbo, so the biggest saving grace to me is the second team being pretty awesome. But that finale, like Patrick said, is one of the best finales in the entire franchise. And I think that would be my justification to do low C, high D. But I want to hear what you guys think.
I would venture to say that I agree with you because I don't want to put it on the same level as Zeo. I think that would be underselling Turbo a little bit.
Yeah, I want to put it in C tier.
I'll put in C.
That's what I was kind of thinking with C, but I didn't want to put it in C and be the only one saying C, so I want to see your thoughts first.
Yeah.
Because as much as Turbo gets on my nerves sometimes, especially like how bad most of the episodes have been, they still have some good gems.
Okay, let me help us out with the next one.
Yeah, just put it up there.
It's not even a question. Like
yeah,
we're done.
Yeah, all four of us can easily say it's the best season. Yes.
Yeah, this is the best season of the entire franchise, in my opinion. You can't change my mind.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So
and if anything, it's
the reason Power Rangers got saved for the first time.
And if anything, the season's gotten better with age.
Yeah,
like honestly, it has.
Yeah. So,
still
do you want to
best
talk
villains
about In Space, or do you want to move on to Lost Galaxy? Given I saved us all that time.
All I'm gonna say is that Power Rangers in Space, like, I mean, you take 4 characters who are already great, and then you pair them up with the greatest Red Ranger of all time, and you take a bunch of villains that were kind of Mega Ranger and turn them into like S tier villains. Like, honestly, like until Patrick reminded me during like one of our reviews, I forgot what it.
Did Nathan freeze up?
Did freeze up? He's like,
did Nathan pull up Anthony?
He froze for a second.
Where did I cut off at?
At the basic beginning of that sentence you're trying to say.
No, just it's a season where you take characters who were already pretty likable from Turbo. You give, you have the best Red Ranger of all time, and I mean, I kind of wish that maybe Bulk and Skull had some more moments to shine, but they get their best moment to shine ever at the end of the series. So I can't even complain about that. So this season is the GOAT, and RRRLLL. We're going to have some choice words to say about RPM. Not some of us are, but yeah, I still think that this is better than RPM.
Yeah. Okay. Lost Galaxy. I'm going to sit this one out and let y'all debate it because I don't remember enough about it to even be confident.
I'm putting it in the same tier with Turbo. Maybe, honestly, I want to put it under Turbo in some regards now. But I think it's more cohesive from beginning to end.
It is.
But I do think Turbo's best moments might be better than Lost Galaxy's best moments.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, I don't even have to mention Ginga Man to mention this. Like the Lost Galaxy characters. I mean, like I said, like Turbo got saved by having a genuinely great cast of characters in its second half. Lost Galaxy's characters, I mean, okay, I like Kendricks. I think Kendricks is a great character. And Corone, her becoming a Ranger is a great thing for her character arc. But, I mean, Leo is incredibly overrated. Kai and Damon have their moments, but they're not great characters. And Mike, I mean, he's not even in the series half the time, which that's another thing that annoys me about Lost Galaxy, how they would often adapt episodes that take place after wait, what were you guys laughing at?
The comments. Sorry, but Leo ripping off his shirt is better than anything in Turbo. That scene genuinely was awesome. Yeah. When they actually chose to make Leo cool, he was cool, but they just didn't have enough moments of stuff like that.
Yeah, but I don't like how they handled Mike because they would frequently adapt. Like Lost Galaxy adapts episodes out of order, so they could adapt one episode that takes place before Black Knight even exists. Then the very next episode could be one where like Black Knight is part of a team. And in those episodes that they adapt where Black Knight doesn't exist, Mike is just not there without any explanation. And sure, there's episodes where Hyuga isn't with the team, but as everybody knows in this chat now, in this podcast now, there's an excuse for why Hyuga isn't there. Here, Mike is just not there. And that's just really annoying. Like, I just kind of wonder, like, does Leo just get up on the cell phone and be like, hey, bro, there was this monster that was about to destroy the colony 2 minutes ago, and you weren't there? Like, what the F, bro? Like,
I don't really feel like it. Maybe ask me later.
And why did you have Bulk and Phenomenus in the show at all? Because they're only in like 3 episodes.
Yeah. Just 3.
That was their attempt at continuity, wasn't it?
I guess, but it was just pointless.
Now, I will say, in the Defense of Lost Galaxy, it did give me my favorite team-up in the franchise.
Okay, team-up episodes are not enough to save the series.
No. I'm not trying to save it. I'm just trying to give it some brownie points.
Oh no, watching the Space and Galaxy Rangers mop the Psycho Rangers was genuinely awesome.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
So, what do you... Oh, Miguel says also Mike soloed 2 villains in the team-up episode at Sad of a 6th Ranger. That, yeah. Agreed.
I mean,
the one thing I want to give Lost Galaxy a shout out to, though, is that I think it has the best villains in Power Rangers ever. Like, I like the reason why I kind of put it a tad above. The reason why I put Trakina a tad above Astronema is because while I think that, if you told me that Astronema is better than Trakina, I'll accept that opinion, have absolutely no problem. But I just feel like Trakina is a very nuanced villain where she's evil, but there's a lot of depth to her. Like, she doesn't want to conquer the universe just for the sake of conquering the universe. She wants to do it because she loved her father, and she used conquering the universe as like something to honor her father. And you could even argue that, like, while it didn't make sense why Scorpius is going after these Rangers, but he could just be attacking other planets. With Drakina, it makes perfect sense. The Rangers killed her father, so she wants revenge on her father. Then she'll go on to conquer the universe. So it kind of makes a little bit more sense, to the point where I kind of feel like Drakina is someone who was born into evil. And so there's a lot more depth to Trakina, even if she ultimately is an evil person.
Trakina is better than any of Zihab's crew is. I'm not even going to debate that because that's just true.
When y'all hear our podcast on the finale, you're going to hear our thoughts on the villains.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if
I
I'm going to entirely...
here.
Uni's pretty much... No, it was. Because there's a reason why the Foot Soldiers and Zihab's forces weren't used, because they were still being used by Toei. And then when they finally got them back, Lost Galaxy was near the end, and they were like, hey, Gingaman footage dumb. Let's go.
I mean, the stupid Foot Soldiers are really terrible.
Yeah, the Ooga Booga pirates. Yeah, I'm glad that
them.
The Stingwingers were a lot more intimidating.
They were still filming the Gingaman versus Mega Ranger movie when Lost Galaxy first.
That's what it was.
Aired.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I would agree with you to a certain extent that more interesting heroes are preferable to interesting villains, but I mean, sometimes you just want to watch the world burn and you want some interesting villains to do it with.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the context of what the villains are bringing to the table.
Which, by the way, if we ever wanted to, we could potentially try to review Gingaman versus Mega Ranger, because that's actually technically a sequel to Gingaman, because the movie actually takes place after Gingaman.
Oh man! So let's watch Mega Ranger first, and we can do that.
Yeah, totally.
But Lost Galaxy review. We're going with the.
I want to put it on the below Turbo.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Below Turbo in C.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably where I would put it too.
Yeah.
Although,
I put it in C too.
If we didn't have the villains, though, it would definitely be D.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Trakina saves Lost Galaxy for being a waste.
Yeah.
Now we get to Nathan's childhood favorite. Lightspeed Rescue.
Anybody else give their opinions first?
I will let you all go first on that. I don't really remember too much of it beyond Carter being a fan.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think it used to be in my top like 4 or 5 favorite Sentais, Power Ranger seasons, but I still think it's a really good season. I think it just dipped down my list a little bit because Carter's a great red. He's a show stealer. Yes. Dana's one of the best pinks in Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty comfortable to say. And Ryan's evil Titanium Ranger arc is just Green with Evil, but better. I'm just gonna say it outright.
Agreed.
It's better than the Green Ranger arc.
I will say I like Joel as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Joel.
We got Joel now.
But the villains they have some moments. Like Diabolico has a cool moment near the end. Mm-hmm. Olympius' dynamic with the rest of the villains is okay, but there's not really much depth to them outside of that. And Viper, Viper's a throwaway villain, but her acting is unbearable.
Our powers arise again.
She hurts to watch. She hurts to watch. She does hurt to watch.
Even like, okay, I don't want to mention this because we're trying to keep this podcast PG,
within like 2 hours.
But like,
yeah, we're not doing that.
But like, whenever she screams or she's in pain, like when Banshira is trying to kill her, the way that like Jennifer Yen screams during those scenes sounds a lot less like she's dying and something else is happening.
Bad acting.
Oh God.
We don't kink shame on this channel.
No. I do agree with Zenith Film Media on Lightspeed Rescue being A-tier minimum. Because,
yes, that I do agree with.
Yeah, I don't think it's S-tier to me, but it is definitely A-tier to me.
It has more good qualities than bad.
And I also agree with Triple R, Triple L, that Carter Grayson is the MVP conversation. Like, he is an MVP of this franchise.
Big facts.
Yeah. So, can I do both?
I mean, actually, no. I met the actor, so me and Nate met the actor, so.
I mean,
cool
Anthony,
from what I've heard.
Anthony, you have a really cool story. If you want to tell it, I wouldn't stop you while I put it in A-tier.
Oh yeah. So no. I still want to play an A-tier, and like even with this, with the backstory of like how like I managed to meet the actor who plays him, who is he's what was it, Sean
C.W. Thompson.
Okay, yeah. Let me make sure I said the name right because I knew he had initials in his name that like were letters, so I had to make sure I said that right. Okay, so I met him at Power Morphicon thanks to Nate, of course, and the 2 years prior, I wasn't able to go to that convention because I had to go to my grandma's funeral because she had died of cancer, and Nate, being the goat that he is, gave me a shout out in the interview he did with the actor, and it warmed my heart. And then I managed to actually go to this convention this time to meet him and tell him my story, and like he was just so genuine. He was so like thoughtful, and it really just hammered home like this is why I like this guy.
He remembered you from 2 years prior when Nathan told him the story too, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean that's a really cool moment right there for you.
Yeah, it was cool for me too, because like Anthony, like I walked up with Anthony and after and he was talking with Anthony and I was standing right next to him and he turned to me and he was all like, haven't I met you before? And I'm like, wow, you remember me from 2 years ago? That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Hey, before we go on to Time Force and have that debate, I do want to do that trivia question for anyone that might be interested in it. convincing pass to Atlanta. So if you're in the chat and you want a free pass to go to Rangerstop and Pop in Atlanta, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after, let us know in chat right now because we have a trivia question for you to answer to see if you win a chance to go for free.
Yeah, let's see what people say.
Yep. And while I wait, I'm going to read off this comment from Triple R, Triple L. I always want jokes about Ryan being unawarely messed up due to being raised by demons. Okay, so Triple R, you are going to Atlanta next weekend, or you could go next weekend? And Miguel, no, it is an easy placement, except I have trouble between Space and Time Force, knowing which one I think is better.
He's going to Atlanta, so
okay,
just put him on the
spot.
Nate,
you want to ask the question?
Yeah, I mean,
it's your question. You can ask.
Yeah.
Okay. This is okay. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna have. Okay, which Ranger color is the only color to appear in Power Rangers before it appeared in Sentai? There's one color, and it's a, to give a hint to make it slightly, it's a 6th Ranger color, so it's not one of the primary core 5 color characters, but it's one color.
He said titanium.
Well, the titanium was a 6th Ranger color, so
yeah.
Well, titanium isn't a color. He was a Silver Ranger.
I mean, he's
I
still
don't
titanium.
even know the answer to this. I don't even know the answer to this question.
I don't know the answers either.
Damn, you put it in our private chat.
Oh,
that's why I said,
this,
I didn't know.
This is a trick question.
I know, right?
Okay,
I would not have
done this, honestly.
I kind of feel like that's a mean one, but
yeah,
Mike got it right. It's gold. We're gonna give you another one though, because Triple R that was a mean question.
Yeah,
when Nathan
because
texted me, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, because King Ranger is considered a Black Ranger, but Zeo Gold is a Gold Ranger. So,
and he technically is the first Gold Ranger of Power Rangers.
Yeah, I guess technically we didn't get a Gold Ranger until Machi Shine, but even then we didn't get an official Ranger that was called Gold until Go On Gold and Go On, which, by the way, we're going to be reviewing very soon, guys. But anyway.
Indeed.
One day, pretty soon. Probably after Rangerstop, we'll start doing that. But I need to watch Lost Galaxies too. And I'm putting that off as long as I can.
Yeah, but RR, we'll give you another shot.
Yeah, go for it, Nate. If you got any more questions, you can queue up and ask.
What's another trivia question? Okay, this should be an easy one. Name the one. Okay, which actor? And this actually does line up with Rangerstop and Pop. Which actor has played 2 different characters that are both Rangers, but they're both different characters completely?
Ooh, I like that one.
Do you know the answer, Riz?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know the entire guest list of the cons, so yeah, I know who it is.
And this actor is going to be a Rangerstop and Pop, by the way, RR.
Yeah. So you could meet him next weekend.
2 different Rangers, but he was 2 different characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like Steve Cardenas played Rocky, who was both the Red. Yes, RR.
Yes,
got it.
you got it. Well, Mike got it first. But Mike was not.
He was mad. He was Solaris Knight and Shadow Ranger.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
Steve Cardenas was one character, even though that character was 2 different Rangers.
Yeah. So you have me on Discord. Just DM us on Discord whenever you get to the con, and we'll come find you and give you the pass.
Yep.
So, bold. What's bold?
trying to remember. I think he also played somebody in Samurai, but I can't remember if that was the season. The Hobbit from Mystica.
He was an orc in The Hobbit.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
I haven't watched those last two movies.
I'm also putting a link to our Discord in the chat for anyone who would like to join us on Discord, because we do have some entertaining conversations from time to time in there.
Yeah.
Quote, entertaining, unquote.
Well, we need more people to hang out in the Discord with, so I think it'd be cool to get more people in. Okay, so Time Force. Obviously an S tier, but my question to you three is it better than In Space, or is it slightly below In Space?
It's below In Space.
It's below In Space.
Honestly, there's probably even one more season I would put ahead of it in the S tier. Now,
I know what you're thinking.
Huh?
I know what it is for you.
But yeah, I mean, it honestly, the thing about Time Force is that its cast is amazing, but that cast is carrying the season.
Yeah.
Big time. But that cast is good enough to make it an S tier season.
Yeah.
Let's clarify that. But yeah, I'm going to be honest, if you took maybe the Lost Galaxy cast and you had Danny Slavin playing Wes and you had Archie Cow playing Lucas and so on and so forth, okay, it would probably be a B tier season, but I mean, because it has that cast and it's there, and that cast makes it S tier.
Miguel makes a good point about Eric.
I mean, the Quantum Ranger is the best Sixth Ranger in Power Rangers.
Yeah, definitely.
And I would argue if you would take Sentai and Power Rangers and kind of merge them together, he's the second best behind Spider Kimono from King Ranger. He's that good of a character.
What do you think about him and Bull Black, Patrick?
I think Eric is slightly better than Hyuga.
Yeah. That's a spoiler for you guys on our ranking of Hyuga, by the way, in our finale. There you go, Aki Eagle. We gave you a spoiler for the next podcast. He DMs me every now and then asking for what I think about things that I'm watching, and I'm like, you gotta wait till the podcast, bro.
I know I know it's funny that people mostly know Dan Southworth as Virgil in the Devil May Cry series, but I'm like, no, to me he's Eric.
Nate, it's the weekend pass, right?
I think so.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it's a weekend pass.
Also, Rancid clearly clears nearly all villains. Rancid is a top 5 villain, but he's bottom top 5.
But I wouldn't debate it if you say that.
No, I would agree with you that he does clear nearly all the villains, because that is true.
Mm-hmm. Nearly all, yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But let's go on to Wild Force.
Your favorite season, Riz?
Oh,
actually,
no.
Where did I mention this in a podcast? It was in one of our podcasts in the last 2 months, where I said, over the years, I've kind of gotten kinder to Wild Force. I don't know what season it was I said it in, though. But definitely...
All I'm going to say is that it goes above Zeo. That's as high as I can put it.
That's all I can do. I mean, I'll be honest. Believe it or not, I haven't seen that many of Wild Force's filler episodes. So, I've seen all the major stories.
Ever?
I mean, Power Rangers Wild Force came out during a time, I even said this during that Attack of the Clones review that we were doing, since Attack of the Clones came out the same year as Wild Force, that this was a year where I just flat out wasn't into Power Rangers. And then I just watched a bunch of the story relevant episodes. Cole joins the team, some of the episodes where they get to our auxiliary mechs, Merrick becomes the Wolf Ranger. I watched that whole Animus story arc and then threw up after it. And then I watched both team up episodes and the in-game arc.
Hey, what is what does Aka mean by kite arc? What is that one?
That's the Animus story arc.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, Animus story arc was where I lost my mind.
Oh
That-
yeah.
Patrick
That arc needed to be.
and Anthony probably remember this rant very well from our old Skype days.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
That was the moment. So just to give you all the story, I had watched a lot of Power Rangers prior to meeting these guys, but I had skipped around. I didn't watch I think Lightspeed, Wild Force, Ninja Storm, and anything after after SPD, I didn't watch it. So when I started doing a whole watch through of everything that was out up until that point, which is up until Megaforce, I got to Wild Force and I was like, God, can I really do this after the Animus arc? That was painful to watch. But and Patrick kept baiting me saying, Rids, this is still better than what you're going to deal with when you get to Operation Overdrive. And I kept telling Patrick there's no way Operation Overdrive can be worse. And
lo and behold,
it was. And you know what, Patrick? You know what? There.
Yeah, just
I'm skipping ahead.
let's just skip ahead.
Skipping ahead.
That season a little bit, but
We'll get more into it when we get to it.
We'll place it where it belongs in the F tier later. But because we mentioned Overdrive, I have to put Noverdrive, not Overdrive, in the F tier right now, just to get it out of the way. I think I did
by the
something
way,
similar
I
in our
know
Rangers ranking as well.
Miguel said that it deserves some credit for Forever Red. Here's the thing: the Wild Force team up episodes, both of them, S tier team ups. I think
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wild Force is the best in the whole franchise. But doesn't it say a lot about a season when the best part of the season is when you have to call in Rangers from other seasons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with Triple R's comment. I'm sorry, I don't know if I say Triple R or do I say something else for your name, but I'm just going to call you Triple R for right now. But Wild Force costumes also just looked off. I agree with that, honestly, because
I like those suits.
I don't know, just there's always something about them that seemed aesthetically unpleasing to the eye, and I could never figure out what it was that I didn't like.
I don't know. It's kind of weird to explain, but I think the stripes across their chest having different layers, because I know red has like 5 and then blue has 4 and stuff, so it's not symmetrical, I guess.
Yeah. Also,
The
Miguel,
helmets
the
are
combinations of Zords were dope, I guess, but there was 25 Zords, my dude.
27. 27. Yeah, if you
Okay.
have those 4 Zords that didn't do anything that just popped up in the final scene in the last episode.
I didn't count them, but okay. Yeah, there's too many Zords for me to keep track. I don't know their names anymore, and that's the big problem I have with Power Rangers going after Wild Forces. I stopped caring about the Zord formations because I couldn't keep track. Like, who was I talking to a couple of days ago about RPM? Somebody and I were talking about RPM, and I said, yeah, I don't remember the Zord you're talking about because there's so many different combinations that I couldn't keep them all straight in my head. And the same thing happens in a lot of different seasons. I mean, it just, here's 25 million Zords, and I can't keep track of it. I think my friend, other Nathan Marchand from the former Power Trip, and now I think it's called the Henson Trip or something podcast that they're starting up. No, I'm sorry. Henson Power V3 is their new podcast coming up. So that's a little shout out to our friends over there that they're starting up something new. But he said it best when he did the Wild Force review on their podcast. And he said, look, when we start getting this many Zords, that's too many. It's too difficult to keep track of. And honestly, what was wrong with having those 7 MMPR Zords in season 1? That was all you needed. You didn't need 25 million different combos.
By the way, if you want to know just how lazy the writing staff was when it came to copying Gal Ranger, there's like 1 or 2 episodes of Wild Force where they call the Wild Zords power animals, which that's what they were called in Gal Ranger. So I'm just thinking, did you just take the Gao Ranger script, put it through Google Translate, and then just copied and pasted the Google Translate onto the script? They're not called power animals. Like, they literally take the Gao Ranger pension sequence and Photoshop the American actors' heads into it.
Nate, that's still better than what we got in Time Ranger. You can fight me on that later on after this podcast.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, Wild Force. Are we putting in C or D?
Put it above Zeo.
Yeah.
Nate,
that's why I would put
Anthony?
it.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I agree.
Okay.
In front of Zeo.
All right. So,
Ninja
Storm. All right. Let's see.
Here comes my bias. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it out right now.
Go for it. Start us off.
It's either A or B for me. Honestly, that's how I see it.
Okay, I can respect that. I will say I haven't watched Ninja Storm since that big marathon I did when I first met you guys on Skype. But I do remember having many a fights with Frankie and maybe Patrick about Ninja Storm being a decent season. And I still stand by that, and I would probably say, to me, Ninja Storm was probably a B tier at the worst.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm gonna be the third person to say that. I mean, there's issues I have with Ninja Storm. Like, I don't like the villains all that much. Like, Lothor can be I get that, like, they wanted him to be a little comical. I just kind of wish that they still tried to make him look intimidating. Because I'll be honest, Lothor is a silly-looking villain.
Dude.
With his design.
Yes.
Yeah. But like Miguel's comment here about him being a comical villain that we needed, I agree. We needed that.
Yeah, but make him at least still come off as intimidating. Like, Ivan Ooze from the 1995 movie. Okay, he would occasionally make like some stupid dry jokes and all that, but he still came off as intimidating.
I thought Lothor did come off as intimidating because every time he fought the Rangers, he bodied them.
Yeah.
So when he did get...
Oh my God, hold up. Edwin, you busted your head open playing with two figures from Ninja Storm? Dude, that sounds like a story we need to hear later on.
Dang. I want to hear this story too, honestly.
Yeah, come to our Discord. I want to hear the story later on.
I will say that Cam is one of the best Six Rangers and Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I will say that.
I might be bold enough.
Go ahead.
I might be bold enough to say Cam is second to Eric on my Six Ranger list.
I put him behind Ryan and Eric is number one, but Cam is behind. Cam is behind Ryan and Trent at the very least for me.
Okay, I will say.
I agree with that.
I would say third for me then, because I do agree with Trent. Ryan, you and I have had so many debates on that I can't keep doing him. I just don't know how I feel about Ryan.
I agree with you, him being third, but the other way around, I think Ryan is two, but I think Trent. I honestly didn't. I never liked Trent as much as other people did, but that's more so a problem with one of the biggest issues I have with Dino Thunder as a whole, not him as a character.
But to talk other than Cam, like, I would say half the Ninja Storm team are decent characters.
Is best
Ranger Dustin. That is like, the best description for him ever.
That's literally what he is.
Yeah, it is.
Like, Shane isn't a top 5 red, but he's still a decent red.
He's a good red in his own right. I think we put him into B tier on that ranking we did a couple of months ago.
I think,
Tori, there's times where I'm tempted to say that Tori is top 5, but even if she's not top 5, but I was obligated to have one female Blue Ranger in the top 5, Tori would be there. Now,
Tori would win.
the other three Rangers, Dustin and the Thunder Rangers, ironically enough, the three Rangers who do motocross in their free time. I mean, they're not the best characters, I guess. Like, I feel like Hunter and Blake's story arc is wasted. Like,
It is.
I don't understand why they're acting evil. Like, okay, why are you battling the Rangers when you're only after Kanoi? And like, why are you acting hostile toward the Rangers? And also, the story is that you want to kill Kanoi because you think that he killed your parents. Why do you think he killed your parents? Because Lothar told you. So let me get this straight. This big space alien boss who just showed up at your academy, blew up your home in his spaceship, and is holding your friends and your sensei hostage. Yeah, totally trustworthy sounding guy, guys. Like,
they're not the brightest
Rangers,
so yeah. And you know what would have helped it, honestly, if they were just brainwashed from the freaking start, it would have solved everything.
Yeah. Now, my question is, if we're putting Ninja Storm on B tier, I am conflicted on its placement against Mighty Morphin.
It's under.
I would put it. I'd argue that maybe it deserves to be ahead just because Cam's story arc is, in my opinion, one of the best story arcs for an individual character in Power Rangers. That, to me, is enough to propel it above Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, I would agree on that, Nate.
And even though it's a flashback of Lothar, I still think that was the better version of him. For all that we've seen of him as a young man, he actually was very intimidating when he was like at the academy and like was, you know, being evil and stuff. Like, what happened? How did he go from that to being goofy in space? Like, I'm confused. Like, these things are adding up.
I can't wait till we do Hurricaneer, though, because that's going to be a fun season.
Dude, I am so looking forward to that because, like, I watched the entire thing, and I'm not sure. The story is good. Don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of curious if Riz will like it. That's why I'm kind of conflicted out. He might like it.
No.
If
you're saying
I'm worried. There's nothing. There's no John character in this, by the way. Don't start. I'm just saying
is there a Zeo Ranger problem?
No.
Okay. Then we're fine.
But like I said, you're a more hardcore critic than we are. That's what I'm saying. There might be some things he might like about the show, but then there's some things he might not like about the show.
I mean, that's what a lot of
CGI hamster.
Yeah, Riz. Like, sometimes I keep remembering how you were kind of a little harsh on Honami early on when we were watching Time Ranger.
It built character.
But anyway, let's move on to Dino Thunder.
Yeah.
Which I say A tier for Dino Thunder.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree.
Dino Thunder, so one reason I like it a lot is, so honestly, for me on my personal tier list, Dino Thunder rates in the S tier, but I respect you three saying it's an A tier.
You see, and this is kind of where I was going to continue off the Trent thing I was saying earlier, is that Dino Thunder is an S tier Power Ranger season, but it gets knocked down by the fact that it just does not know how to close out story arcs.
You talking about the story specifically?
No, I'm talking about everything. Every single story arc in Dino Thunder fizzles out at the end and doesn't end in a satisfying way. I felt that way about everything. Character arcs, individual story arcs, the finale. I thought all of it was weak. It does great build up to stuff and then just kind of like blehs at the end.
Yeah, like you have the whole build up with like Tommy's rivalry with Zeltrax. They make this big revelation, even though they don't go into detail on what Zeltrax's revenge is all about. Then, right out of nowhere, in a Kira-focused episode, we get this final battle between Zeltrax. And then all of a sudden, Zeltrax is back. And the rivalry there isn't there. Oh, and I guess even though a couple of episodes ago he implied that he had a crush on Elsa, he's attacking Elsa when he comes back, so screw that plot point.
Right.
I mean, I can understand. I understand all that, and that's why I'm more than willing to say A tier.
Mhm.
But my S tier is more on a selfish level that I really enjoyed Dino Thunder. And another reason it's an S tier to me is they had the golden opportunity to make this all about Tommy because he came back after a couple of seasons of being away. But they relegated Tommy to the background a good bit to allow other characters to sign, which is something they didn't really do with Tommy the first time he was into seasons, like for Zeo, Turbo. He didn't really give other characters that much time. So it was nice seeing them write smartly for him.
It was the best Tommy ever was.
Yeah.
Now, I will say I'm putting Dino Thunder over Lightspeed, unless y'all have a
100%.
severe...
No, I agree with that. It has more substance than Lightspeed.
But Dino Thunder definitely, is better.
It also has one of the most entertaining villains, because Mesogog is so much fun.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that scene where Anton Mercer forcibly transforms into Mesogog for the first time at the end of that episode. That scene genuinely gave me nightmares the first time I saw it as a kid. So that was intense for
Thanks. It's real quick, Nate. I just want to say thanks, Triple R, for coming along, and we'll see you next weekend when we give you the pass.
Yep.
Also, dang, that sucks, dude. That you got hit like that with some glass.
Yeah, I agree. Dino Thunder does have one of the best intros too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
definitely. It's one of two theme songs that doesn't have the word "go" in it, which, thank God.
Yeah, that and Jungle Fury.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to
SPD Emergency.
S.
Yep.
Just
I agree
throw
with
it
S.
up there.
Yeah.
It's number 2 to me. It's my second favorite season.
Yeah, I mean, it has the best Blue Ranger character in my opinion. Well, okay, besides Billy, I mean,
Theo.
Sky's the best.
He had the best story too. He had the best story. Yeah, he had the really good story.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the only way that you could have made this season better was if the executive producer didn't cave to Disney refusing to give them money for one more actor and just push Disney to give them a little bit more money so that they could give Sam the Omega Ranger an actual Ranger identity and not just a teeny bottle of light.
The Omega Ranger is not a real character.
And a more sequence.
There. It's on screen now. It has to be fact, right?
He wasn't. That's easily the weakest aspect of SPD is that Omega Ranger was a whatever character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, aside from that, I mean, I will say that maybe the second half is where it drags a little because pretty much everything after the Battleizer debut, which, wraps up Sky's story arc. I'm not saying it's bad, but that's kind of where they started copying a lot of the Deca Ranger episodes, which Deca Ranger is just a bunch of filler episodes. There's no ongoing story arc in Deca Ranger.
I think it worked out regardless because they had built up the cast so well up to that point that they could get away with it.
And also, yeah, for sure. But not only that, but one of the best, probably the best, even if it was just for one episode, the best Good Rangers versus Evil Rangers battle ever. Because
that episode against the A Squad in the warehouse was so good.
Yes.
Because that is the ultimate. I wish that the episode kind of emphasized it a bit more, but I think Linkara kind of said it best. The A Squad Rangers, before the series were happening, they were the Rangers that we're supposed to look up to in the Power Rangers universe. And the B Squad Rangers are just their lowly backups. So to see them prevail over the people who are supposed to be their superiors, there's no better well-written battle than that. That was just
that fight was the moment where I was like, "Nah, man, this is a top 2 season." Like, I love that ending.
Yeah, because they're underdogs, and you know me, I love rooting for the underdogs.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a good fight for me.
So I heard some debates on SPD and spot number 2 for the time being.
I don't. That's the.
I think it's more well-rounded than Time Force, because I still, even before watching Time Ranger, I had a lot of issues with Time Force's story, and I had SPD over it well before I watched Time Ranger, because it just feels more well written all around.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think Time Force might have the better written characters with, Wes, Jen, and Eric, I just think SPD is a better package.
Yeah, so I would put SPD ahead of Time Force, but
I would agree with that too.
And let's not underestimate how good of a villain Grum is.
Yeah, definitely.
He's not Rancic's level, obviously, but...
and by the way, Sentai fans, for this, I think this is better than Deca Ranger. I don't hate Deca Ranger, but I think it's overrated. Fight me on that. Let's go.
It's just episodic. It doesn't really have like a concrete, like a very long running story. It's just they literally solve everything in one episode with a case by case basis.
I mean, I'll grant you, Deca Break is a better character than what the Omega Ranger is, because he's actually a character. But that is the only thing that Deca Ranger has on this series.
That's literally all they have.
Anyway, let's move on to Mystic Force.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to be the oddball out. I feel like I'm going to be the oddball out here because I actually like Mystic Force.
Yeah, I want to hear this one.
It's weird because I'm one of the biggest advocates of Nick is a terrible Red Ranger, and but
yes,
I genuinely like the world it built and how engaged the side cast was. I thought the rest of the crew, aside from Nick, was genuinely good. They weren't outstanding, but yeah, I agree with you. Red was the focus character, and he was the worst character in the season, and that is the thing that really held it back. Because everything else I genuinely think is good, and I did love its finale. But Nick being the focus character, is what holds it back from being like an A-tier season for me. It's a high B. I think I personally would put it above Ninja Storm.
I can't go that high up.
That's what I'm saying. I'm probably going to be the odd man out here, but I do like Mystic Force more than most people do.
I'm not a huge fan of
a low B, low C, high B. I don't know. It's
okay. So Mystic Force to me was on that D tier. That was my gut reaction when I first started thinking about it. But then you have to give points back for Xander.
Yeah, my boy.
Xander is enough for me to raise another tier.
I did points for everyone except if we're talking about the main 6 Rangers, not counting Udana and Leonbo, I would give points for everyone except Nick and Daggeron.
Oh, Solaris Knight stinks.
Yeah.
I do not like him.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the worst 6 Rangers and Power Rangers.
I'd say, okay, so my gut reaction was D. Xander and the other characters raised it to a C, but I can't make the jump to go any higher.
I might vote for B lower than Mighty Morphin, though, just because there are some genuinely really good episodes that I enjoy in this season. I really like that 3-parter where they get their legend mode. That, in my opinion, is that, in my opinion, is like on par, maybe even a tad better, if I'm being honest, than the Jungle Fury Power Up episode, just because of how it's written. Not saying that this is better than Jungle Fury, just the Power Up debut story.
But these are all better than how Geki Ranger did it. There, I said it.
There it is.
But,
yeah.
So, and I mean, I like that episode where Vito almost becomes a vampire. Like, so there are some memorable episodes here and there.
Yeah.
So I would vote that it's a B, maybe lower than Mighty Morphin. Like,
what do you think, Anthony?
Like I say, it's. I want to put it either on C or B. If it's on either one of those, I'm perfectly fine with that.
I'm still with C or B. I mean, Nathan makes some good points. I would agree with him. So I'll leave it up to you guys.
I'd say C under Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, I'd say C too.
Wait, C under Mighty Morphin?
No, B under Mighty Morphin. Sorry.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, yeah, it's going to be under Mighty Morphin. Put it in the C tier. Okay. Here, let me help you out.
No, we have to talk about Operation Overdrive first, bro.
He's like, no, we can skip it.
Operation Overdrive.
Oh yeah, it's already on the.
You already put it down there. Overdrive makes my soul hurt. I'm not even joking. I want to tell you a story about the first time I was watching this season, because I was watching the season in our main room where I sit at our dinner table and my brother sits on the couch on the other side of the room. When he found out I got to Overdrive, he said he looked over at me every so often and he could see physical pain in my eyes. I never even told him how I was, like, my opinions on the show. He could just see that I was angry. He says he's never seen me look like that when watching something.
So it's like down to the song and into its entirety. It's just bad.
I know, I can't even get the music right. What is that theme song?
Why would you use a rap, and not even a good rap, a bad rap, for your Globetrotting adventure series?
And the worst part about that is
Rangers reaching down the sky in 5 ways. What is that? What is that?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
The worst part about that, though, is that it's still the preferable rap version when you listen to that.
The demo track.
Oh my god!
Oh, that demo track makes me hate. Yeah, that demo track makes me hate that I have ears.
The only other thing I want to say about Overdrive that kind of just speaks to it. Okay, I'm just talking from my personal experiences, and I don't mean to there are people who are going to like this season. That's fine. Right. You know, you're right to have. It's okay to have your opinion, but I noticed that there's a lot of people who like Overdrive that tend to get a little too overly aggressive defending it. Like
overly aggressive.
Like there was this one.
They go into Overdrive and they're aggressive.
Like there was this one guy on Instagram. I'm not gonna bring him up, and he didn't do anything, so I'm not.
I know who you're talking about.
But like he made a post on Instagram saying that he liked Overdrive, and I said, "Hey, listen, bro, I appreciate your work." He's a Power Rangers fan page thing, and I appreciate what you do, but I have to disagree. And I kind of calmly pointed out the problems that I have, and then here comes this other guy who's like trying to insist to me that like Power Rangers Operation Overdrive is an objectively good season, and then I keep saying, "Well, no, here's the problems with it," and he keeps ignoring it. And that conversation devolved to the point where he started accusing me of living in my mom's basement, smoking pot. And he took jabs
going that hard defending Overdrive,
and he
seriously.
took jabs at my weight and took a very subtle but kind of screw you type of jab at my wife. Like, dude,
what?
It's not that deep. Like, you're gonna insult my wife? Like, come on, man.
Thank you. I'm gonna hate the season even more now. Screw you.
Yeah, I wouldn't give him any air at all.
Yeah. So
No, I'm sorry. This season is just it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah. It stays in the F tier. Sorry, we're moving on to something good now.
By the way, that guy blocked me on Instagram before I could respond to any more of his comments after he took a jab at my wife. So yeah, he's a coward. Screw that guy.
Oh, I will say, my first watch through Overdrive, Patrick had been hyping me up that I was going to hate this thing. I think from the time I hit Zeo and my binge of the entire franchise.
That sounds about right.
So, you know, every time I get on a Skype call, he'd say, Riz, you're getting closer to Overdrive. You're getting closer to understanding my pain. I can't wait to hear what your pain. And then I got to that opening theme song. I was like, okay, this opening theme is pretty bad. I don't understand what the hell this opening theme is. And then it was just a downward spiral. And I will never forget, Patrick, and probably until the day I die, I will not forget that when we got to the revelation of Mac being a robot, I paused the episode and I started texting you a huge rant because I didn't have time to go on Skype and give a rant.
I remember
this. And I had to go off on you for not stopping me from going on to this season and willingly telling me to watch it because you wanted me to feel your pain.
And you did, and it was worth the reaction.
But the only other thing I'm going to say about this, and this is something that does genuinely hurt, is that I also don't like how a lot of Sentai fans here in the States are going to know about Sentai through Power Rangers. The thing I hate the most about this is that this is going to turn off a lot of fans from wanting to watch Bokenger, because Bokenger, okay, it's not an S tier Sentai. It may not even be an A tier Sentai, but it's a good Sentai. There are so many people who are going to pass on it just because they hate this F tier season.
Here's a question for you guys, and I know this is not the time and place for it. But when we do the Bokenger review series, are we going to watch the Overdrive?
You know, Aka asked me that question once on one of the posts on my blog. I really don't know if we should do that or not. I mean, I might do it just so I can get an Operation Overdrive review out of the way. But you guys don't have to do it.
I kind of feel I have to because I don't want y'all to feel like...
No. If Patrick does it, I'll do it.
It's just going to be you and I just taking turns shooting with a laser cannon.
Yeah, because it wouldn't feel right if y'all were watching it and some of us didn't watch it. That wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
But we share the pain together. We share the pain together.
If Patrick agrees, I'll do it. If Patrick doesn't agree, I may have to bow out.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah, but let's move on to something more pleasant. We got single
theory.
I'm sure Gareth Ewan is a perfectly nice guy, but Dax Lowe, worst Power Ranger ever. He's worse than Troy. He's worse than Justin. He's worse than the Omega Ranger. He is worse than every other Ranger. He is the worst Ranger ever. Enough said. And if you would disagree with me on that, I will fight you. And I'm not joking.
He's also the reason we got Spider-Man 3 in a movie. Come on, guys.
Okay, Riz, not everybody is going to know that inside joke.
Right.
If you don't understand my inside joke, go look at my Instagram blog, and you will see an April Fool's joke that I post every couple of years on different platforms.
No, but if you want to know how bad he is, go to Morphin Legacy's page that gives bios. Dax's bio is literally Dax isn't the brightest guy, but he can be very trusting, as shown when Miratrix fooled him into doing this. So basically, their bio can be dissolved down to Dax. Dax can sometimes be very clumsy, but he's also a complete dumbass.
Fair.
No, but what it really, I have to say this because I'm really got to rant about this real quick. How is it that not only did he shrug off his Ranger duties to go film a freaking movie, but the movie was literally this close to being done, and he leaves just before they finish filming?
Because he's a quitter.
Like,
also, I like Papa Eagle's renaming a Dax to be Dax.
Oh,
no
like that
to Dax
frustrated me so
Low.
much. It's like, dude, okay, fine. You disobeyed Andrew's orders. Okay, fine. You wanted to do the movie. Okay, fine. And you want to make sure that it's complete before you go off the Ranger duties. Okay, fine. Why would you leave just before the movie is about to be freaking finished? Why would you do that? Let's everybody's time.
Let's save the Overdrive ranch for when we get to the season review.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm good, y'all. I'm good.
Jungle Fury.
Jungle Fury. Yes.
Jungle Fury. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just recently finished watching Jungle Fury again, just to do a review for my blog, and this is another one of those seasons that gets better and better. And I watched Jungle Fury as it was airing. I've watched it like 3 times since then, and it gets better each time.
Oh yeah, like even though I'm not really like Dominic all that much, he's not even like that bad of a character. He's just kind of just there.
I mean, he's just there. He doesn't do anything. That's why he's harmless.
Yeah. I don't even hate him. I just think that he just needs better story.
Stopper. He's not a bad character. He's just there, you know.
Yeah.
And honestly, like 90% of the problems that this season has can probably just be attributed to it coming out at the start. Like when it started coming out, it was during the 2008 Writers Guild strike. Like I kind of wish that there was a little bit more effort to like put some type of like mythology around Pai Schwa, because I mean Geki Rangers set up with the whole Jukin, even though that season the substance was bad, but there was at least some like trying to put mythology there. I wish it was fleshed out a bit more, but the second half of the season is where
you froze again. You froze again.
Okay, sorry about that. Where did I cut off at?
You're talking about the Jukin.
You wish they could have been.
Right. But the second half is where it picks up, in my opinion, though, because like the fight between Casey and Jared in the penultimate episode, that might be one of the most emotional fights I've ever seen in Power.
Oh yeah,
Casey just walks into Daishi's castle, beats him up, and then leaves without any explanation. Like, gee whiz, man.
He beats up all like the freaking minions there before he gets there, and it's so funny. He's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna casually just beat all these like Richie up and then go after him.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I said it has the second best Blue Ranger because I love Zeo. Zeo is such a good character.
Yeah.
Best yellow, yes.
Yes.
I love Lily. RJ's the best mentor, yes.
Oh yeah, totally. I love me also RJ.
The only thing about Jungle Fear that really holds it back from at least being above SPD for me is that I don't like the villains.
Dude, Edwin, I totally agree with you on that.
They're so what pizza? Yeah, absolutely. But like Jared, Daishi, Camille, who were they? The three gods that he
Overlords.
Overlords. It was a mess. Like Geki Ranger genuinely did that part better.
No, Geki Ranger has really good villains. But
but like even the dynamic
because to that for me.
Yeah, but even the dynamic between those three, Daishi and Camille, it felt like every episode someone was trying to start a coup on someone else. Like, can you people just make up your mind for 2 seconds?
I'll defend Jared a little bit. I feel like there's a good setup for Jared. I just kind of wish that like maybe Jared was kind of like, instead of having him be possessed by Daishi, you could kind of have Daishi play like the same role as like Long in Geki Ranger, except have him reveal his monster form a little bit later, but have him be there from the start. And Jared is more like Rio, where he's part of the villains, but he's there out of like his own free will.
That would have helped. That would have helped a lot.
Mm-hmm. Because sometimes I couldn't even tell who's in charge, who was like. At both times, I didn't feel like Jared was really even like there. It was like she was kind of just in the driver's seat the entire time.
Yeah, and that was kind of my problem because in the first few episodes, they did establish a pretty good rivalry between Jared and Casey, and then Jared as a character just kind of vanished until like the penultimate episode of the season. Like it was weird. But yeah, the actual core cast just makes the show so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's why I think it's the best Disney season. So
yes,
and honestly, like the reason why I consider it better than SPD might just be because it has a Red who, in my opinion, I think Casey is actually a better Red Ranger than even Wes, just because of his character arc. Not better than Andros, but. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to mention this spoiler alert in our little Gingaman review at the end, but like he's a lot like Ryoma from Gingaman, just being a rookie who gradually rises up. So it's kind of like how, I have Ryoma. The only Red Ranger I think is better than Ryoma is Takeru. The only Red Ranger I think is better than Casey is probably Ambrose. His character arc is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Casey versus Jack is one I've gone back and forth on in my head for a long time. Because I think Jack is like a top 5 Red in of himself, but that's a tough one.
But we can all agree that like it deserves to be an S tier season.
It's either 2 or 3 for me.
It's 2 for me.
Do we want to move on to RPM now?
Yeah. Oh, this is where fun's going to start.
And by the way, for those for those watching, we are going to be doing a full season of RPM at some point because we're about to review Go Under. Now I don't know if we'll do it before or after because we still have to do our jump. We still have to record a Lost Galaxy review to wrap up our little Gingaman mini thing. But
we have so many things to do.
Yeah. I'm currently watching RPM. I've gotten up to like I think episode 12. All I can say is that I never jumped on the bandwagon of fans saying that this is like the greatest thing that's happened to Power Rangers.
I'm going to be very blunt. I'm putting it at the top of C tier.
I still like it though. Like
here's the thing about RPM. It's good up until Judd Lin takes over. And then it basically And then it basically becomes, hey, let's take the storyline of Andros and Astronema and in space and water it down and just do that again. And then it loses all of its personality.
I kind of have something I want to say, but I don't know if
because literally that's the main story arc of RPM is Dylan and Tanaya's thing, and it's literally just Andros and Astronema all over again, but without like the finer details that made that storyline so good.
Yeah. But what I was going to say, no, go ahead.
No, go.
No. You were still talking, so.
No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. Why do y'all go?
But like Commander Truman is infuriating because I swear he wants Scott to fail. Who's Blue again? What was his name? Flynn. He was a one-note character. Jim and Gemma he's fun, but he has like one joke. Jim and Gemma are painful to watch. And I think Vengex is a good villain, but what kind of makes him good is Beast Morphers. It's like that's what really puts him over the top. But I will say this: the main thing that really gets under my skin about RPM is Quarant. And how at the very beginning they established that Oh, it has a shield. It's a dome city. We're doing this to protect ourselves from vengeance. Things just get in there without any explanation after a while. What was the point of you putting in a dome city when people just walk in there willy-nilly? It doesn't pay attention to its own established rules. And it just like makes so many key stressful situations like questionable, because it's like you should not be in the city. There was no alert that went off saying that someone broke perimeter. You're just in here. Come on.
Yeah, this is one of those seasons that where I feel like if there was ever a season that Disney hurt more, it would be this one, because if you look at like the history of like the production behind that season, it's almost like Disney was kind of setting up Eddie Gazzellian. That was the guy who was originally writing the show. It's almost like they were trying to intentionally set. They wanted to cancel. Believe it or not, they actually wanted to cancel the show after Jungle Fury, but apparently the company that's responsible for airing the show said no, you have to do one more season. So they were
on contract.
So they were going to be all okay. Well, we're going to do everything we can to like justify failing this season. We're going to discontinue JetX. We're going to start Disney XD, but we're not going to put RPM on there. We're going to only have RPM air on like ABC, like at 6 a.m. when no kids would ever be up on Saturday.
Sunday. No, it was on Sunday.
And you know, and you know, we're going to hire a guy who's never worked on Power Rangers before, let alone. Well, okay, I think Eddie Gazzellian did some episodes of Ned's Declassified, but he mostly worked on like.
But never Rangers, I don't think.
But he mostly worked on just like American Dragon, Jake Long. So it's like Eddie Gazzellian's vision for RPM was great, but you could tell that like Disney brought him on just so they could fire him after a couple of months.
But you want to know what's very interesting about that is that we actually know what the story would have been had he still been on still on the show.
That script leak?
So apparently there was an episode that was going to be called Ranger Black, and apparently Dylan's whole backstory of him and him having a flashback of his family, whatever, that was all fake. That was actually Vengeance's like true body that he was going to have. Like he was going to like take over. Like he was literally specifically created by Vengeance to be possessed by him, and the Rangers would have to kill him. That's how the story would have ended.
So Dylan was meant to be a internal sabotage of the RPM Rangers.
Yeah.
Yes, he was supposed to be Vengeance's final body, and he was supposed to be possessed by him and then fight the Rangers.
Oh man, now I hate the RPM ending even more now, because that genuinely would have been.
Now, I do want to mention that we had a question in chat from Edwin about will we ever cover the RPM finale in the way that we did Samurai, and I think it'd be very interesting to do it if we can find more info, because what I've seen online about it is that we just don't know a lot of details outside of the fact that Eddie Gazzellian had a different idea that was more darker, and he doesn't even remember it now himself, according to some interviews I've read. Like, it's lost to the ether now, a lot of the ideas. So it's not like how with Samurai we had something written out by the guy. I think his name was Amit
Bhamat.
Yeah, because he wrote out the plan for Power Rangers Hexagon. He wrote out a plan for the Samurai season, but I don't think there is anything written like that for RPM. But we can take a look and investigate. But if we don't find anything substantial, I don't know what we can do aside from speculate, which I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Andy's here.
I would call for RPM to be put. I would put it in B, honestly, just because it has some decent characters. Like Summer is a top 5 yellow in my opinion, and Ziggy and Dylan are both really great characters.
Yeah, and Dr. K is genuinely like a top 3 mentor character.
Yeah.
If you even want to call her a mentor per se, but man, her story is messed up.
So
just want to go outside.
I'm tempted to say that if should be put ahead of Mystic Force in the B tier. I mean, and the reason why I say ahead of Mystic Force is because, like, this series has like 3 Rangers that belong in like the top 5 of their colors. Mystic Force, okay, Xander probably belongs in like top 5 greens, but nobody else. Like, I mean, as great as like Vita, Madison, and Chip were, I don't think any of those people deserve to be in their top 5 colors. So, I mean, if they have 3 characters that really stand out to be in the top 5 conversation, I think that propels it above Mystic Force, at least not above Mighty Morphin. But
it could be debatable about Mighty Morphin. I could make the argument either way, but definitely over Mystic Force. I don't know. I kind of want to put it over Mighty Morphin. That's just me.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm also debating on Ninja Storm, but Cam is such a good character.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it above Ninja Storm.
No, Ninja Storm is definitely better than RPM.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we hit the dark ages of Power Rangers.
I'm gonna say Samurai is D, maybe below Zeo, and because here's the thing about Samurai, it's bad, it's really bad, but first of all, even before Riz and I did our little interview with Hector, I actually thought Mike was a half decent character already. So not as good as Chiaki, but an okay character.
I thought Mike was a decent character. I thought the copy and paste storyline for Lauren was decent.
Yeah, I like Lauren.
I don't think it was better than the Sinkinser, obviously, but I still thought it was a decent way to copy and paste it over.
I don't mind Antonio. Okay,
I was going to say Antonio's not a bad character. He doesn't do anything wrong.
He's not as funny as Genta. I mean, nobody's as funny as Genta. But
no one is.
The thing is, I didn't like Zayden as a character.
No,
I didn't like.
Jaden has a creepy.
Kevin.
Nedsy, is that his name?
Yeah.
Oh no, Kevin's the character name. You're right.
Yeah,
I don't like Kevin.
Kevin is just Ryosuke without the fun.
He's so bland.
And
he's like Samurai.
I didn't mind Mia, and I didn't mind. Oh my god, what is Yellow's name? Emily. I didn't mind him. They weren't terrible characters.
Mia was a bad character, dude.
Who?
Mia's character is just one thing. Ha ha, get it? She can't cook. Ha ha, isn't that funny?
At least Mako had more to her than that.
Yeah, and then of course
episode.
What's her name? Freaking Mia was like, "Oh, I always wanted to get married." I'm like, to who? Like,
yeah.
And Emily was good. I mean, she's not as lovable as Kotoha, but she's okay.
Nathan, nothing to you is more adorable than Kotoha. We get it.
Exactly.
Okay, whatever, dude.
All right. So
Kevin's actor had more personality than his character. Yeah, but that probably did more to hurt his character than anything.
Let's get to the season that has mentally been the most difficult thing for me in the franchise, and that's
just put it down there with Overdrive, and let's be done with it.
Exactly.
Well, see, here's the thing, though, and I'm not saying this with the Gokai's lenses on. I'm saying this from the point of view of they had a really good opportunity to do something really good, but the writing just was not there for Megaforce, and I honestly think. I think I like as many characters from Megaforce that I did from Samurai. Because I like Zia's character for what little we got of her. I thought Noah was not a bad character. I thought Noah was actually a half-decent character for that
Robo
season.
Knight was genuinely good.
Robo Knight was genuinely good. I actually didn't mind Emma. I thought Emma was a decent character. But Troy was too cardboard in his acting, but that's not the actor's fault. Because Andrew Gray, I've seen him in other work, he's actually pretty decent. It's the writing they gave him was bad. Jake, I didn't like him all that much. Orion was I don't really care about him. Take him or leave him,
You would think with somebody who lost almost his entire people would be more, I guess, more to him, but that was one and done, and then that was it.
Yeah.
And by the way, like for people who, I know no one defends Megaforce, but if there's ever someone who wants to defend Megaforce and like say, well, could you guys do it any better? Well, I'm actually working on doing my own version of Megaforce.
Yeah.
And I actually want to hold up.
I mean, I can do it a lot better because I had a great idea for it as well.
So and I can actually write up my better idea, so I can actually prove that I can do better than some of these writers. So yeah, anybody who's going to say that, which I know nobody's going to say that, but if you do, you can shut up.
See, here's my concept for how you do Super Megaforce. You keep the original cast of 5 on the Ghost Sager suits. You introduce a second team that are using the Gokai suits, and you have them race around the planet trying to collect the different grand powers for whatever thing. Make them like a rivalry. I think that would be a much better idea, honestly.
I mean, or if you just like, I mean, I don't know how that would work, Riz, because like, I mean, with the budget restraints, like the way I mean, you doing it is the more ambitious version, and I really like that, but I'm trying to do mine more with like Nickelodeon, like putting a gun to my head and saying you have to.
No, I'm talking about MCU level budget here, bro.
Yeah, I know, but
because it's literally the Avengers of Power Rangers in that,
Yeah, I know.
Or it should have been. So it bugs me because I think there's so much potential.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I land with it. I agree, and I've stated this hundreds of times that I think Overdrive is worse, but Megaforce is just more infuriating.
Yeah, because it had more potential.
Yeah, it had a lot of weight on its shoulders, being the Power Rangers adaptation of Gokaiger, and it fumbled it in every single way possible. So it just makes it more infuriating.
So I've listened to you guys talk about Megaforce. I've listened to a couple other podcasts talk about Megaforce, and I am very willing to take away the Gokaiger lens from this and say, okay, forget how epic Gokaiger was. Forget all about that. Just focus on the suits, focus on the footage, and I honestly think Megaforce had some decent moments in it, but they were just limited by the debauchery of Saban not knowing what they're doing.
Yeah. It was executive meddling for sure.
I honestly would say, in my opinion, Megaforce is higher than Samurai.
No,
but that would predicate us moving Samurai to the F tier where I have it, and having Megaforce over Samurai.
You see, the crazy thing is I can't agree with that because I think Samurai is better than Zeo, so I can't agree with that.
Damn.
Well,
the reason why I put this, honestly, the reason why I put this ahead of Overdrive is because, like, okay, as much as we find some of these characters interesting, like, overall, I think Megaforce is kind of secretly aware that it's just kind of boring and it's like just really bland and it doesn't try to be something other than that. Operation Overdrive gives us horrible characters, but it's under the impression that these characters are likable and we care about them, and it tries to give us emotional moments, even though they're not emotional. Like Mac being dead, I mean, okay, who cares? He was horrible. Like, so, but they don't try to give us that many emotional moments in Megaforce, which I wish they did, but at the same time, it's kind of aware. I mean, the people don't really care about these characters anyway, so why should we? Really
exactly.
So
in a weird way, I can respect that. Kind of like how I can respect Jurassic Park 3 because it's aware that it's a boring movie and doesn't try to do anything, as opposed to The Lost World, which is just a horrible movie but thinks it's a good movie and tries to keep up with it.
Now, let me clarify something that Aka Eagle is asking in our chat. He's asking, what are the decent moments in Megaforce according to me? And so the first thing I want to clarify, Megaforce Part 1, that season, I absolutely 100% agree F tier all the way. There's nothing redeemable about it except for Robo Knight.
Exactly.
Actually, I thought the final like 2 or so episodes leading up to the super half were actually kind of entertaining.
Yeah, but does that excuse everything else that came before it?
No, but it is a positive that the final 2 episodes are good.
Agreed. But you guys might disagree with me for these being decent moments and Super Megaforce, but I actually like the Casey tribute episode. And
oh no, that was great.
Yeah, that was a great episode. That's episode ahead.
I also liked Legendary Battle, and let me get the rest of this out before people jump down my throat. I liked the aesthetic of how Legendary Battle was played out. The mountain scene is a fantastic scene. It invokes so many emotions, seeing those suits all on the mountains coming out, and they're saying, look, Mighty Morphin and Zeo and Turbo, blah, 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 whatever. You know, like that moment was meant for us. I'm going to send you a photo later of a meme that me and Patrick made for a Ranger Novel.
Oh my God. I'll never forget that. Good.
I saw that photo. I'm going to put it on Discord later on.
I'm going to jump off of your point there because this is something I've always said, and I still believe this.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Legendary War versus the Sentai one, I think the introduction of all of the teams was better in Power Rangers, but the actual fight was better in Sentai.
Agreed. And
because the thing I hated about because the thing I hated about the Sentai one was Aka Ranger and Big One come in and save the Gosagers, and then they run through the forest for 5 seconds, and then there's everybody. Well, that wasn't very grandiose.
No. And that's the thing, is that, you know, again, I have the Gokaiser lenses on most of my life, but I will agree with you that that's one moment I think Rangers did better. Because
like having Tommy and Wes and Carter and stuff like acknowledge that, hey, you guys did good. Like, that's great. I liked seeing that. I just wish we saw more of that.
And the Jerome thing where she's saying, I love being a Ranger. Dude, that's like top tier character development right there for her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because remember, she said she would be a Power Ranger anyway.
And then there's this thing, I'm happy to be a Pink Ranger. It's like, hey, we finally got some character culture for Astronema all these years later.
Yeah.
You know what is actually crazy about it, if you think about it? This is a very interesting accident that has happened because, like we mentioned before in previous reviews, if Patricia Jolie had stayed on as the substitute Pink Ranger for Lost Galaxy, we would never had this.
No, we wouldn't.
No.
Saban's cheapness really actually paid off for once.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm just saying, those are two moments I really thought were awesome in Megaforce and Super Megaforce.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's just something about seeing the suits used every now and then by a team in a meaningful way. Like, you know, it's not like grandiose, not like anything big. Like, not every season had a tribute episode. Hell, not even most of them had a real tribute episode, in my opinion. Like, we should have gotten a Mighty Morphin tribute. We should have gotten a Zeo tribute. Didn't get any of that. I think we only got Samurai, Single Fury, and maybe
sort
RPM.
Of RPM. It's sort of RPM.
I don't count RPM.
No.
But no,
I terrible.
I think those two are really decent moments, and it made me like Super Megaforce. And honestly, the only thing I get super frustrated about in the entire thing, and y'all can laugh all you want, but I think they did Zia very dirty in the entirety of Megaforce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the way she acted made her seem like a really good character, but she gets zero focus, which frustrates me. Because while I have a crush on her, I also thought she was a really awesome character that could have done a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that'll always frustrate me is that Zia got robbed.
Yeah, every bad Power Ranger season has that one actor that is trying to carry it, and the season just plain doesn't deserve. Ciara Hanna is that actress for Megaforce, which, by the way, I would probably say that Dwayne Cameron, who played Tyzon, is probably that actor for Overdrive.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we met Ciara Hanna last year at Rangerstop and Pop, and that was a fantastic interaction. I talked to her for like a good 10, 15, 20 minutes about not just Power Rangers, but also her career outside of it. Because she did some movies that I watched because I'm a huge fan of her, and I want to see the other stuff she did. And it was a really great time. She was such a nice person.
Yeah.
Also, if there's anyone in the chat who is interested in Rangerstop and Pop tickets, let us know. Because once we deliberate on Dino Charge, we're going to try and do another round. But we need y'all to tell us now if anyone else wants a ticket to Rangerstop and Pop in Atlanta next weekend.
Yeah, because
you're going to be there. So,
yeah, where do we want to put Megaforce?
I want to put it over Samurai, but I can't because we put Samurai.
No, it's second worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I think Samurai is first, but I will put it above Overdrive.
Yeah.
There. Okay. Dino Charge. This is another season of
A Tale of Two Seasons.
I'm gonna be very. You want me to be the most blunt one here?
Yes, because I'm tired of being the blunt one in the team.
I'm putting Dino Charge at the top of A tier.
Here's the thing: if we were talking about like the first season,
yeah,
I would absolutely agree with that. The thing, Dino Supercharge is where it gets a little like
muddy.
Yeah, because like I mean, first of all, the opening episode I was really disappointed by. Like, I loved that mid-season finale, but then like the whole opening episode for Dino Supercharge, where like all the Rangers coming together again, just felt really anticlimactic to me, and like there were a lot more like bad filler episodes that I didn't really like, and not only that, but like the final episode. I mean, okay, I don't mind that they did that whole thing where like they go back in time and they kind of screw the timeline up to where dinosaurs exist. I just don't like how they defeat Sledge. Like, what, you tie him to a ship and then fling him into the sun in a really anti-climactic way? Like, that's just one of the most, like, I don't know, like, compared to like other epic ways that like a main villain is supposed to go out, that just doesn't come off all that great to me.
I agree.
So,
yeah, the finale of Dino Charge is the one reason I have trouble agreeing with you, Patrick.
Honestly, I actually like the ending because most Power Ranger seasons don't have the gall to do something very risky like that.
I mean, okay, it was risky, but it opened up so many plot holes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get that with time travel. I mean, Time Force's ending has them too, but we don't seem to make that big of a fuss about them in the grand scheme of Power Rangers.
Time Force is a great season.
So is Dino Charge, and in some instances, I'll be bold. I think it's better than Time Force. So, I think its entire cast from top to bottom is better. I think Time Force's better characters are better. But I think Dino Charge's entire cast is better. I'll be that guy. I think Dino Charge is that good. And Sledge is Sledge. I can't hate him. He's one of the best villains in the series because I just love how stupid he is.
I mean, okay, so I would give you Dino Charge behind Dino Thunder and R tier.
Behind Dino Thunder?
Yeah. Still A tier, but second best A tier.
As much as I think that there's too big, I think there's too big of a gap there, but I'm probably going to get outvoted on this.
What do y'all think?
You know, the more I think about it, I think A tier is fitting because, I mean, honestly, like, besides Riley and maybe Ivan, I think most of the characters were really great. Like, I think Tyler is a great character. I think Shelby, Shelby is might be a top 5.
Shelby's a top tier pink.
She's probably number 2 behind Jen.
Dana.
I would say.
Coda's not top 5 blue, but he's top 10 blue for me.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So going back to the pinks, I misspoke. Jen, Caron, and I kind of think Dana over Selby, but
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go Dana. I'll give you Caron, but
no, but Riz, I think Kim needs to be behind Jen.
Who?
Kimberly.
Yes, agreed. Forgot about that.
But
definitely top 5 material. No two ways about that.
And I think Chase is a top 5 black, although that might
really?
be...
That's not saying a lot, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, there's not that many black Rangers to choose from, but I mean, I still thought he was a decent character. So, yeah, the more I think about it, again, I don't know if I would put it above Lightspeed Rescue, although that might just be for selfish reasons on my part. But I think A is acceptable. I mean, Dino Supercharge was a little disappointing, but the more I think about it, it's not like it did something super egregious.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's better than Lightspeed Rescue, but that's because, to me, Lightspeed Rescue is the one season I don't remember anything about. It's so forgettable to me. You know,
Dino Charge does have more substance than Lightspeed.
Yeah. I mean,
as good as Lightspeed is, it does have a lot of dead moments in it.
Lightspeed, to me, had a couple of good things about it, and I'm going to list them off real quick. Carter. The entire titanium thing was pretty awesome. Joel and his thing with Fairweather, and that's about it. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the fact that I hate the team up with Lost Galaxy.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
But,
so I would say it's over Lightspeed Rescue. I can't make the justification for Dino Thunder, though.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'll concede it. I'll concede it.
What do you think, Anthony?
This one's kind of rough for me because I do like Dino Charge, but God, do I hate Super Dino Charge, and I also hate the ending. I no two ways about it. I do not like the ending, and you can explain how it's this and this. I don't care. I hate the ending. Now, if they had just went back maybe a day into the time travel thing, I would have enjoyed it better. I would have been like, "Oh yeah, this is a good finale." But you had to go all the way back to the time of the dinosaurs. Like, come on now, like no.
Yeah. So, where do you put it in your mind?
It's. I want to put it as a B because I don't think it deserves like A+ per se, but it's like a low A, high B for me.
Then I guess
toss up.
So maybe put it.
Maybe we could put it behind Lightspeed Rescue.
That's what I was going to ask y'all.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. If you put it A tier, it's fine. I'm not going to be like. I'm not going to like. No. Yeah,
and
we're trying to average the numbers
out because I agree with Patrick and Riz's points that maybe this is better than Lightspeed Rescue, but we got to make it fair here. Yeah. So.
I mean, as long as you put it in the A tier, you're not going to get too many complaints from me. Because I'll agree, I probably do think it's better than most people think it is, and I'd probably give it more credit than it deserves. But that's maybe because it was coming in an era where Power Rangers was in a real bad state, and it was like a shining beacon of its era. So I give it I have a little bit more fondness to it.
Song too.
Yeah.
So I want to give some clarity on this next season. I have not seen Power Rangers Ninja.
I was about to ask that.
Aside from the first episode, Dimensions in
it's
Danger,
not good.
There's a chance I might watch it just to do the comparison with Knee Ninja since I finished Knee Ninja a couple of months ago. But if I if I do watch it, I'm probably going to have to ask my wife to take my eyes open and
Okay.
tie me to my chair.
Okay,
I'm going
let
to
me
say
ask a
some.
question
I'm
real
going to say
quick.
some. Okay.
Did you watch the Patrick all the way through?
I did.
Yes.
Okay, so the three of us can talk about it.
I'm going to be very blunt. You could make the case that this is worse than Megaforce.
I'm making the case it's worse than Overdrive.
You could make the case for both of them. Both of them are pretty bad.
You know, as much as I hate Overdrive, if you say Ninja Steel is worse than Overdrive, I won't argue with you.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
think it's worse than Overdrive.
I think it definitely has aspects that make it worse. Is the overall package worse? That's kind of where it gets iffy. But man, the bad parts of Ninja Steel are really bad.
Okay, so I will say I want to pause here and make a quick statement in general about actors in the fandom. Nothing I have said in any podcast, review, video, Discord chat, or whatever is me agreeing with people going after the actor itself and berating them, insulting them, tearing them down.
No.
Because I have seen people berate people on the Ninja Steel cast. And they don't deserve any of that. Because I've seen their interactions on social media, and they're not a bad group of people.
Me and Nate met a Ranger from that season.
I met the Gold Ranger.
Oh, Levi's actor?
Yeah.
Brody,
we met
Brody's
with him.
Yeah, Brody's actor in Pink. What's her name?
Sarah.
Christine. Sarah. Oh, well, her actual name is Christine.
Yeah, both of their actors are genuinely cool people.
Yeah, and I mean, I forget Brody's actor's name, but he's appeared in multiple fan films that I've seen.
Yeah.
Sure.
As the Ninja Steel Red in one case. I think he's also appeared in some other Ranger color of some kind. I don't know all the details of it, but no, I think Ninja Steel is worse than Overdrive for one simple thing. I would have agreed with you that it's better than Overdrive if we didn't have Victor and Monty. Victor and Monty was the nail in the coffin that made me have to say, okay, this is worse than Overdrive.
I'm gonna say the one thing I've always said about them. They feel like Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide characters that just wandered onto the set of Power Rangers.
It's possible that they did.
Because if you put them in Ned's Declassified, they would be two of the best characters in that show because that show was a cartoon. But you put them in Power Rangers and they make me want to rip my eyes out.
Yeah. Because they play off all these hijinks they do as a cartoon, like Patrick said. It's not taking
and to go off of who was it? It's one of the Toku guys I follow on Twitter. I think it was Toku Chris, who said that Ninja Steel is what people who aren't Power Rangers fans think Power Rangers is. And I was like, that
actually makes sense.
That is the best description of Ninja Steel I've ever heard.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 2 more seasons of the franchise and then 1 more for Real Riders for me and Nathan to go on about. And I do want to make a quick stop here to ask, do we have anyone that wants the last Rangerstop and Pop ticket? If not, we're going to do another giveaway on a different platform later this weekend.
Yep.
So this is your last chance for us to give it away on the live stream. We're going to give 1 away. We got 1 more. But if y'all don't claim it, we're going to do something else with it.
Honestly, I really hope that's the case too, because we don't need to talk about what happened behind the scenes of Ned's Declassified or anything involving Nickelodeon in the early 2000s.
Nope, we're done. We're not going there. We're not. Nope. I don't have the no. We're not doing it.
Well,
okay, Beast Morphers. How's that sound?
I know that Dan Schneider's stuff was messed up, but Ned's Declassified.
It's part of it.
It's part of
that.
What was that?
Here, I'll type in the chat for you, Nate.
Okay.
Yeah,
you guys can tell me that off screen.
But let's get on to Beast Morphers.
Beast Morphers.
I'd say that's an A tier.
I finished season 1. I still need to finish season 2. I've watched like 1 or 2 episodes, plus the one episode where Jason comes back because we did a podcast on that. But I can still pitch a little bit on this.
High B, low A. It's a good show, but it feels like it has a hard time standing on its own 2 feet.
Yeah.
No, I think it did pretty well standing its own 2 feet. The main 3 Rangers are fantastic.
Yes.
I also, I had to rewatch Beast Morphers again one day because I don't truly understand the hype people give to Steel. But from what I understand, everyone loves Steel, and I'm just like,
I like
okay.
Steel.
Steel's cool. Like, I don't dislike him, but I also didn't think he was that fantastic to get that kind of hype.
The thing about Steel that made him so entertaining is that he was so outwardly confident about stuff he had no idea about. And it just made him just like a walking box of comedy because you just never know what he was going to say.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it just made him funny.
I would say that the main, like, just going off of the issues that I have, mainly with the first season, although I see this problem with season 2 as well, and considering it's a similar problem I have with Dino Fury, I would just chop that up as just being a Nickelodeon problem. I feel like, and this isn't it, I always had a trouble with like how Hasbro formatted some of these episodes. I don't like how there's episodes where there's like big plot like implications, but they have plots that have like filler episodes. And one of the definitive examples is there's an episode where Blaze and Roxy brainwash everybody into forgetting what happened when they became like, workers for Evox, and that's part of the in-game arc, and they steal very important equipment from Grid Battle Force. What's the bulk of that episode? Steel wants a dog, and he has to prove to Nate that he's more responsible. And the episode ends with getting a dog, but then giving it to a little girl. And it's like, okay, you can have a plot like that, but plots like that belong in filler episodes.
Yeah, we don't.
See, the reason that happened, and I can actually confirm this because this was an interview that Judd Lin gave halfway through Dino Fury when it moved to Netflix. He said one of the things that he hated about working with Nickelodeon was that they had a very strict clause of things that they didn't want the show to do, and having overarching storylines going across multiple episodes was something that they just did not want. So they almost barred them from doing it. And you could tell because it held Beast Morphers back a lot.
Yeah. Because they had so many things that they had really good moments of plot development on.
Yes.
They didn't do it.
And you could really tell that was the case because jumping ahead to Dino Fury a little bit, the second half of Dino Fury when it was on Netflix is significantly better than the first half.
Oh my god, yes.
Because they didn't have Nickelodeon's tight rules hanging over them. And Beast Morphers clearly suffered from that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but I will give Beast Morphers the fact that how it picked up from RPM and brought back Vengex was one of the best moments in the franchise. Because when I was watching that episode and Evox's voice changed into Vengex's, my jaw was on the floor. I couldn't believe they actually did it. I could not believe they did it.
And if you were on Twitter, which I think you are on Twitter, Patrick, and you follow a lot of the Toku guys, you would see a lot of people before it happened kind of forecasting, are they going to be ballsy enough to bring Vengex back?
Oh, no. That was the thing on Twitter when Beast Morphers was going on. A lot of people were saying Evox is Vengex, and then I was sitting there like, there's no way.
I was like, lol, no.
It's too good of an idea for them to actually do it.
It's too good for Nickelodeon to do it.
Yeah. And then they did it, and I was like, why do I have chills?
Yeah.
I mean...
And then one of the funniest things about it is that Venjex's voice actor from RPM was voicing Evox the whole time. He just went by a surname in the credits until the episode where he was revealed as Venjex. Then they put his actual name back in the credits as the voice of Evox. Because it's like, they were hiding it under our nose this whole time.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Now, I do want to respond.
No, that's the thing. No, that's the thing, Akka. No, that's the thing, Akka.
Yeah,
it was predictable, but the thing is, I didn't think they were actually going to go through with it, because that's not something Power Rangers would ever do.
Yeah, I'd be surprised that they actually did it,
So the fact that they did it made that predictable twist really awesome.
Right.
And my other response to him, you guys agreed that Go Busters isn't a terrible season of Sentai, because one of his Tumblr blogger people that he follows said that it's the worst season of all time. No, absolutely not. Go Busters is a great season. It's not like it's not an S tier season to me, but it's still a pretty dang good season in my opinion.
Yeah.
So no, your Tumblr blogger friend, no. We'll get there when we get there, because we have to re-review Go Busters.
Yeah.
Because I think we only did the first 2 parts of that review series before we all fell off of doing podcasting for like 1 year. But now we got Patrick, so we got to redo it anyway.
You know, I don't.
That's fine. I haven't watched Go Busters anyway, so.
Yeah.
You know, I don't hate Ben and Betty. I don't. They're probably like the best, like Vulcan Skull ripoff characters in a while. But I know this is a weird thing for me to harp on, but the actress who plays Betty, Christina Ho, like, am I the only one who thinks that she's way too pretty to be playing just a comic relief?
Yes. No, you're not the no, you're the one. I have to agree with that.
But
by
honestly,
the way, if you're watching this, please disregard everything I just said. I love you, baby.
No, but okay, honestly, Nate, while I agree with you, I also think I'm okay with her being comic relief, because pretty girls can become comic relief. That's not a big deal. They don't have to be bombshell hot, wearing like bikini-clad outfits, running around being a badass. They can be derpy, fun, nerdy girls like how Betty was. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I just feel like her actress is way too talented to just be a comic relief. Okay, you can have her be a comic relief character, but like...
Wait, what does that mean, Miguel?
He clipped that segment of the stream.
What does that do?
Oh my god, is he going to show that to my wife?
It's basically he's going to take it and make it a...
Okay.
Blackmail.
It's okay, my wife's
like,
he's not going to make a big deal about that.
He said, "Hey,
Cameron, how are you doing?" So we have another viewer on here named Cameron. I wonder if he's here for a Rangerstop and Pop chance for a ticket thingy that we're doing. But in any case, while we figured it out, Beast Morphers, I think low H, high beer is good.
Yeah.
I kind of trend towards the A, though.
Yeah, I'd probably say A.
Anthony?
I'll probably say A2 or A, either A or B for me. Either one's fine.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of think this is higher than Dino Charge. What do y'all think?
I put it higher than Dino Charge, and that's
I'm higher than Dino Charge.
I can't. I can't. I would say bottom of A tier is where I would put it.
I think over Dino Charge only because it had more solid plot throughout. Even though we were kind of limited with the episodic thing given to Nickelodeon Power and Survival. I'm going to put it there for now. We can talk about it later.
For Dino, so, okay, here's the complication that we have with Dino Fury. Riz, Anthony, and I literally did as like a little experiment for our Versus series. we did a comparison between Dino Fury and Dino Charge, and Dino Fury won that.
Oh yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
because it is. I was just kissing up Dino Charge, but Dino Fury is better.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think Dino Fury is the best of the Saban Hasbro era of the Ranger franchise.
Yes.
Yes,
Because
that should be pretty easy.
It's
the only thing I don't know, because we never followed up on the second part of that video series, Nate. I don't know if it does better than Dino Thunder in terms of our analysis of it.
Well, we can do a preliminary opinion right here.
Yeah.
And then follow
Well,
up.
I think preliminary, I would put. I kind of want to give the edge to Dino Fury, because while I love the cast of Dino Thunder, I think the Dino Fury cast had some great characters. Like, I like Zato, I like Amelia. Ollie, while people may have thought he's a little bit pretentious, I thought he was a well-written character in that he's kind of selfish and a jerk, but he learns from his mistakes over time.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is growth that we don't get very often. Hey, Psycho Orange, how you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I would probably say that. Yeah, I could probably see it being ahead of Dino Thunder, just because I don't know. I mean, the more I think about it, like, I mean, Izzy is an S tier green. I think
Yeah.
Hobby, I definitely put in my top 5 black.
Again, I doesn't say a lot.
Okay, Amelia, like.
Amelia's in the
Well,
top
she's-
tier pink.
She's the second best Pink Ranger.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
Man, we
know.
really got to do that Pink Ranger tier list one day.
Yeah, we do.
So,
Oh my god. Okay, next live stream, we're going to do that.
I mean, the only Dino Thunder Ranger who I think is like, well, okay, Ethan's top 5, but
Ethan's top 5. Kira is top 5 yellow.
Kira is the only Yellow Ranger where if you told me that she's better than Lily, I'll accept that opinion.
That's what I'm saying. Kira is an amazing yellow. Ethan's an amazing blue. So I think I talked myself into agreeing that Dino Fury might be below Dino Thunder.
No.
Because,
You see,
okay, so we got Izzy.
is
top.
that
Good.
Dino Fury falls into the same trap that Beast Morphers does, where it has filler episode plots with big, heavy-handed episodes. And another perfect example, there's that episode where Zato gets that key that gives him his battle item, whatever it was called. It was
Patrick, you're a fan. You're a fan.
Oh, is it
There.
bad? Okay.
No, you just turned it and it
It was
Sorry.
that armor mode.
just turn it
Anthony
off.
told me it was Be a Soldier. He has to learn to control it while fighting Void King, and that's another thing. Tarek becomes Void King in that episode. Okay, is this episode going to revolve around Zato trying to control the key and deal with some emotional struggles with Tarek? Nope. Let's have it be an episode where Javi needs to write a new song to compete in this guitar playing contest.
And that's the problem with the Hasbro Saban era, is that they get constricted by that stupid Bible that Simon Bennett mentioned, where the first season of Dino Fury wasn't allowed to have overarching plot. It wasn't allowed to skip having a lieutenant a week, which is why they had to have the hobby plot in that episode you're talking about. It's because they were mandated to have every episode be some kind of life lesson for kids to learn from. And I get the merit for why they want that, but I don't think they should have been doing that in the entire franchise at the end. That honestly kind of killed it a little bit.
But the argument for it is that when the second season comes, they kind of more or less somewhat abandon.
Because they moved to Netflix.
Yeah.
And when it does that, it's like amazing. Like you have that episode where like Izzy is, having a conflict with her mom because and it legitimately tackles the idea of like, okay, her mom accepts that Izzy's a lesbian, but she's never quite gotten used to it while still accepting her. That is amazing writing that I would not expect to see in a kid's show like Power Rangers. You have that scene where Fern finds out that Izzy is a ranger and they tell them that they love each other and all that. Like that stuff like that makes me want to put this ahead of Dino Thunder the more I think
I agree with you. That stuff is really good. Honestly, if you just take season 2 and Cosmic Fury, hands down beats Dino Thunder. Even though I understand there's a lot of complaints about Cosmic Fury not being the best. But to me, Cosmic Fury was really fantastic.
Yeah, but this is a huge debate.
Yeah, Cameron, I think they needed the filler because of the life lesson thing. Because Nickelodeon or Saban or one of the groups told Simon Bennett, the showrunner, hey, you gotta have these lessons of a week. So they had to do stuff like the hobby song episode or some of the ghost hunting stuff that we got.
If Dino Fury came out during like the Fox Kids era of Power Rangers, or heck, even the Disney Jetix era of Power Rangers, this season would probably, with like what those seasons were allowed to get away with their writing, we could very well be looking at a season that would be ahead of Jungle Fury and might be giving Power Rangers in Space a run for its money.
No, definitely. I mean, I don't think it necessarily beats Jungle Fury in Space, but it definitely would have been giving some pretty damn competition to some of those S tiers we have here.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that they were held back by the overarching plot thing kind of keeps it into A tier.
And the more I think about that, maybe it should be behind Dino Thunder because, like we've established, Dino Thunder, they didn't know how to wrap up story arcs, like Patrick said, but they had story arcs, at least.
I mean, okay, they had story arcs in the Dino Fury, Cosmic Fury as well, with Izzy's thing with Fern, with Zeta trying to find his Rockonian planet, Ion trying to assert his dominance over the team. We had some different, plots that were kind of overarching in a way, but it didn't have as much of an impact like some of the other seasons did because they weren't tied down.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I want to say Dino Fury is over Dino Thunder, but I'm also conflicted in that I need to do that versus video.
How about for right now, we just put it behind Dino Thunder since the contest was Dino Fury versus Dino Charge. Whoever wins gets to go up against Dino Thunder. So I guess by default, we're considering like Dino Thunder some champion type of thing that has to be beaten. So until Dino Fury can prove on our channel, because we're the supreme arbiters of what is good and what is bad in the world of Tokusatsu.
Tokusatsu eat our hearts.
People be like, what? No, you're not.
Until Dino Fury can officially take that trophy from Dino Thunder on our show, Dino Thunder has that trophy.
Yeah. Now, before we do Rail Riders, one last call. Is anyone else here for the Rangerstop and Pop ticket before I move on to our next plan for giving it away?
Let's just give a second for the audience to respond.
Yep. I'm seeing a lot of blanks, so I don't think so. We'll move on to Plan B. That's not a big deal.
No, but we got one ticket to give away, so that's good.
Yeah. Okay. So, Pat, Anthony, I'm sorry, but I don't think you guys have seen Rail Riders, right?
You know I've seen Rail Riders, right? I don't know how I keep trying to tell you. I've seen Rail Riders already.
Okay, seen all three? So we can talk about this. Okay, cool.
I told you this in the chat before.
You know how excited you guys are in that stat? I miss half what y'all talk about.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Okay. So Rail Riders is a fan production by Zenith Film Media. They were in the chat earlier. I don't think they're still here now. They might be. But if you have not heard about Power Rangers Rail Riders or their other project, Gem Paladins, go check out Zenith Film Media, because Power Rangers Rail Riders, like I said in my episode 1 through 3 review that we did with Nate, honestly, this stuff is better than some legitimate seasons of Power Rangers.
It really is.
Yeah.
Just 3 episodes.
And I mean, they got 2 more to go. Nathan and I know some spoilers on what happens next. And because we had a talk with the guys after, we're not going to tell you what the spoilers are. We're going to let Zenith reveal them to you in due time. But I will say, based on the spoilers, this is a pretty crazy story. Wouldn't you say, Nate?
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think Rail Riders falls in that A tier category for me. Now, where it falls into A tier, I don't know. What do you think?
I would want to put it behind Beast Morphers, and the main reason why is just kind of because, like, so it's good. It's really good. In fact, I would argue that it's probably even okay until I see Tokuger again, which I'm going to because I want to do an actual full review of Tokuger on my blog. Yeah. For right now, I would say that it's better than Tokuger, but the fact that it's only like 5 episodes long, I mean, at that, okay, I get why they're doing that. We had the 2 guys from Zenith Films on our podcast to talk about it, and I get it. You know, if they were going to do like a full 40 episode season, I mean, they have enough anxiety trying to do 5 episodes. So imagine like the type of anxiety they would have doing 40 episodes. Would probably
they can't do it. It's just too much money and budget and time and effort that they don't have because they're not a full production studio.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that they should do 40 episodes. I'm not saying that, but the fact that it's 5 episodes, that there are constraints that they're going to have that they just can't get past, that some of these other seasons that are A tier just kind of are, you know, that's one advantage that they have. And they definitely deserve credit for being able to do more with less. I mean, that's why it's better than a lot of other Power Ranger seasons, because there's Power Ranger seasons that do less with more. This season does more with less.
Looking at you, Megaforce.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, like I said, I mean, do we really want to say that this, do we really want to say that it's better than some of these A tier seasons? I mean, what do you think, Riz?
Anthony, what do you think, since you've also seen it and we haven't really had a chance to talk to us in our podcast format about Rail Riders so far?
I actually enjoy it so far. For what the 3 episodes I've seen, it's actually pretty enjoyable. Especially the 3rd episode. Their 3rd episode was definitely my favorite out of the 3.
And see, I want to ask you that also in the context of you don't know the spoilers of what comes in season episode 4 and 5 that me and Nathan do. So you're not as contaminated like we are.
Right.
Also, I've added the audio drama because I'm going to do something at the end.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I have to talk about the audio drama.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm trying to. It's kind of hard for me because it's like, you know, it's not a. I mean, it's a fan season, and I still appreciate that. But I'm not sure where to rank it as far as like this list goes, if that makes sense.
Yeah. See, so the answer to the question that Cameron's asking about where do we rate this season, definitely A tier. I think it has potential to have been more if they had the budget. Like I told the guys when they came on our podcast, if Hasbro handed the keys to the kingdom to this group in Detroit and had them use that kind of money to make a whole season, man, we would have a Renaissance era of Power Rangers in America again.
Oh, dude, no, totally. I agree with that.
We don't have that luxury because Hasbro as of yesterday, has done some things that are going to make it much more difficult, in my opinion, to fully revive a Power Rangers TV show in the foreseeable future. I'm not saying it's never going to happen. It might be that they're going to take a break for like, I don't know, 5-7 years like how Kamen Rider did, and then come back. But it's definitely going to be a lot more difficult now. And I think things like Rail Riders, if they could get people like that with that kind of... Okay, if they could get Rail Riders production team and like their writers to collaborate with Carl Dutton, the audio dramas writers, you would have an unstoppable force.
So I think we can agree that we can put Rail Riders in A tier.
Yeah.
But I'm still leaning toward having it be. I mean, at the same time, I feel kind of weird, like having it be above Ninja Storm, as if to imply that like Ninja Storm is somehow close to it, because Ninja Storm isn't close to it. Like, although,
well, the tier differentiates it to me.
Yeah, but at the same time, like all these other seasons that we put ahead of it, with possibly the exception of Lightspeed Rescue, but are much better in terms of like storytelling. Okay, maybe Lightspeed Rescue and Dino Charge, but
I know I'm a broken record at this point, but I still think Lightspeed Rescue is too high.
I mean, that's fair enough.
But I don't think I can overrule the placement of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, okay. So
as for the audio, wait, do we want to move on to audio?
Yeah, we're moving to audio drama. So
this is where Can I start, Riz?
I mean, I was gonna do a thing, but you can say something first if you want.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that.
I am voting that this goes into an S+ tier that I'm going to add to the top of this list.
You hear no arguments from me.
Because that season 3 finale.
Wow.
By the way, are they going to do anything after season 3, Riz?
Yes, they're going to Zeo next.
Oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And
we'll get a Zeo.
No, they're going to do Zeo better because they did. I'm not going to spoil a damn thing for you, Nate, because you got to listen to it. But they did season 3 better than Mighty Morphin did season 3 by a landslide. Not even a question.
Yeah, but Riz, okay, doing like the S+ thing, I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
But okay, if you want to do that, go ahead. But like, if we're gonna keep it within the tier rankings that I'm here, I would say that this is S tier. And the reason why I say this is S tier and not Rail Riders is because yes, each season is limited to like what, 12 episodes, but it's either 10 or 12 episodes. I can't remember how.
I think it was. I think season 1 had 12. I think, and I think season 2
all had 10, 12.
I thought they had longer seasons. I thought they had longer.
Well, it's longer because the episodes are an hour each.
But here's the thing: one, that's just barely shorter than some of the Hasbro and Nickelodeon era seasons. And 2, keep in mind, some of these episodes run for over an hour long. An hour is worth roughly 3 Power Rangers episodes.
Yep.
So when you put the whole time limit in it, the running time for one season, when you put all the episodes together, that could amount to like the amount of runtime that like a whole season of Power Rangers could be.
Exactly.
So,
that's true.
Therefore, this is much more on par with like being an actual Power Ranger season.
Yeah, I agreed. And the writing, to me, of what Carl Dutton did with the audio drama is much stronger than anything I've seen in the Power Rangers fandom.
Yeah, which, by the way, now that the season 3 finale has come out, we're definitely going to do season 3
after Rangerstop.
Yeah, as soon as we can. And after that, we'll definitely try to have Carl on because we know he wants to do a series podcast.
Also, I think Nathan Marchand who's the guy who played Rito, he wants to hop on too to that call, and I'm going to let him because he's hilarious.
Oh yeah, I'm more immediate want to talk to him too. So
no, he's a good friend of mine now. We've become friends over the last couple of months. I don't know if you noticed, Anthony, but when me and Miguel did our Godzilla -1 podcast, our special guest podcaster for it was actually Nathan Marchand.
Really? Okay, that's cool.
So the voice of Rito. And at the end of the podcast, he actually brings Rito out to play.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Rito thanks us for all the kind words we gave him.
But yeah, I mean, for those who haven't listened to the audio drama or just want to give our overall thoughts, I mean, we have 2 podcasts going into detail about that. So,
and the third one on the way.
Yeah, I've spoken personally to the guy who voices Rocky, and he's a pretty cool guy too.
Yeah, he's awesome. I like him.
But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the tier rankings for right now. But guys, we will do one for Sentai once I have finished watching every single Sentai. Now, whether that'll be in celebration of the 150th episode of Toku Secrets or the 200th episode, it'll more than likely be the 200th episode. But
my dude, we're already on episode 141 of Toku Secrets right now.
Okay, it'll be 200.
So, you don't have time.
You can enjoy me doing that, and you can enjoy Riz on the other side. And if Patrick and Anthony want to join, just to be an audience too. But yeah, you guys can just sit back, eat popcorn, and watch me just rank all these Sentai, and then watch Riz be a troll. Like, no, dude, you should totally put Battle Fever J in the S tier because you know you want to win. Like,
no, I'm not going to do it to you in the official tier ranking. But I will insist that Geki Ranger is in the low F.
Okay, fair enough.
That's my only concession. That and Zeo Ranger has to be in the low F. I got you, Pat.
But anyway, so to wrap this up, we want to thank everybody who came on to check us out. In fact, really want to give a shout out. Like, I can see, on YouTube that we got, quite a few likes, and, a lot of people showed up, and we also managed to give one of our Rangerstop and Pop tickets away. So we definitely appreciate that. This has definitely been a pretty good success, and you can check us out on Discord if you're interested in getting the other free ticket. But yeah, we absolutely appreciate everyone, including some people that I don't recall seeing in our live chats before, just seeing, people come on. We really appreciate this. It's great to know that, we have people who are willing to catch us live. Means so much to us. We definitely enjoy that, guys.
And also,
thanks, guys.
I want to take 1 second to do something I might regret tomorrow, but I want to give a special shout out to Aka Eagle for being a loyal fan of the podcast for the last half a year, I think, maybe longer. This dude makes it to all our YouTube premieres as the first fan to listen to it when it comes live. And he's been really supportive of us throughout. And I just want to give him some shout outs for that. I might regret this tomorrow because he might get a bigger ego in our Discord, but I'll deal with it tomorrow.
And also thank you to Nakia Baris, who had the absolutely amazing grace to promote us on her Instagram. Thank you, Nakia.
Yeah, no, that definitely happened. I saw that during the stream and I couldn't stop the comment, but definitely thank you to Nakia. And was it Nakia who gave you the Rangerstop passes, Nate?
It was Karen, but I still did stop by to talk to Nakia, and I actually showed her that interview that Anthony filmed of me doing her at that one con, and she actually looked at the video and said, "Oh my God, I look so small in that video. Could I go back to being that small? Could we go back in time to when I was that small or something?" So, yeah.
No, but I just want to say thank you to Karen Astley and Nakia Baris for all you guys did to help, give us the passes to promote for your convention. It's our pleasure. We love Rangerstop and Pop. One day, we're going to get these 2 bottom people, Anthony and Patrick, to come as well because they have to come join us, dang it.
Yeah, we'll try to get there.
And also, I know this is not a stream to promote Morphinomal Expo, but I also want to say, if you're in the Texas area in August, I think it's the 11th and 12th. Don't quote me on that. But come to San Antonio, check out Morphinomal Expo. We're going to have the Sentai actors of Mai and Barai from Zero Ranger present. And this will mark Barai's first United States appearance at any event. And they're doing a really awesome dinner for anyone who wants to pay for it, which I've paid for, so I'll be there for that. So definitely come check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think both conventions are doing some fantastic things. And now Nathan and I can both say, who needs PMC when we have cons in our own states?
Yep. But with that said, once again, Rangerstop and Pop 2024, Riz and I will be there. We're looking forward to it. We'll be next week. You guys will be checking out our, I believe, our fourth part. I'm sorry, of a Seiju Sentai Gingaman, which we have pre-recorded. After which we'll have the in-game arc pre-recorded, and we'll be back to our regular recordings after Riz and I are done with the con. We'll be doing a Lost Galaxy review. Sorry, Patrick, and then we'll be doing our Go Onter reviews and all that, and we definitely look forward to going on with that. But once again, we thank everybody who came on tonight. It means so much that there were people who actually care to come check us out for our live stream and see our opinions. And we might even do another live stream at some point again soon.
We have to do the Pink Ranger live stream, dang it. We got to settle this.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll definitely have some hearings to do. But until the next time for our next live stream, everybody stay safe and we love you. And if you guys can still make it to Rangerstop and Pop, absolutely check it out. But with that said, we love all you guys. Thank you so much. It means so much to us that so many people came on to check us out. And everybody stay safe, and we'll see you next time for our pre-recorded review of Seiju Sentai Gingaman.
All right. See y'all later.